So far, so good. What's up? Yep.
Yo,
Pretty good. Chilling.
decent.
Oh wow. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we might as well get into it now real quick.
After how many? It was like 5 delays, 3 hours, chilling at the airport. Ace was basically there all day. He got the text around 20 minutes before our flight was supposed to take off that it just got straight up canceled. And we didn't end up rescheduling. 5 delays, 3 hours, chilling at the airport.
Hold up. Something's wrong with the audio. My fault.
I heard myself
I
echoing.
think it is yours, Quest. I don't think the stream is picking you up. I'm trying to see if it's even picking me up. I heard the Shia.
I heard myself twice.
Yeah, I heard that.
You jinxed it. You said that everything was going smoothly or something like that.
Yeah, check. We can create clips. Oh, we can create clips while we stream.
Okay, so you can't. Microphone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe you just got to turn it off and turn it on again. Your sound input on OBS, maybe, if that's a possibility. I forgot what that dashboard even looks like. OBS. No. Hold up. Remind me later. Pod streaming. Pod streaming. Desktop. Oh. What is that? Background audio. Yeah, I don't know. So the Discord audio is picking up everybody but you, and it's all the same audio input, like in OBS. Gotcha. That's yeah, I don't know. So maybe try it.
Like right now. Do I sound weird, or do you guys hear me twice? Oh wait, no. You gotta hear it on the live. Is it getting picked up on the live right now? And does it come in like twice, like echoey type of situation? 'Cause I remember when we tested that in the past, that's how it came out. But obviously, you can let me know. And I guess I could be the test. I guess I could be verifying on my end as well.
I'm trying to. Yeah, it's picking you up now.
Yeah, it is. Okay, so I guess it's good.
Yeah.
And you getting picked up too?
Yeah, it's picking you up now.
Don't answer that. Okay. Problem solved.
Yeah, it's picking you up now.
Okay. The thing is, I thought there was a reason why it had to X out before. And shouldn't I be in the Discord audio? I don't know. I guess it's all good. Maybe the person that's recording has to not be in the Discord audio. I'm not sure, but it seems to be working now. So let's continue. Yeah, we're good. We're good to go. Guys. Just let me, I gotta double check.
Give me one more second.
Okay. Still on commercial break. If you were listening, this is the time where you like go get your snacks and your popcorn.
My audio got worse. It sounds like audio is picking up everybody but you.
It already doesn't sound bad. At least when I'm listening to it on the stream.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Maybe I just wasn't talking close enough to the mic. All right, I think we're good.
Okay, cool. Now, obviously, when you're doing it live, there's no way to like pause. Or edit. I guess this will never see like the format that I'm going to do unless you actually can listen to the whole thing. This wouldn't be in. But all that to say, Did you notice audio bugging out from the beginning, Ghost?
Talking about was your mic sounded the sound just sounded a little weird, but it was something on my end.
Oh,
And I just noticed once you started the stream that when I was talking, then I heard myself echoing.
okay. Does my audio sound clear to you now?
Yeah, you said you straight now. It was something on my end, not you.
Okay. Well, I don't know what all got missed, but I feel inclined to kind of just do a restart. Um, let's see if I can super do this fast. And sorry to y'all, because I'm worried about these type of things. Pardon me. Okay, so okay, I'll do this really quick. Okay, welcome back, guys, and welcome back all to the Be One to Be Full podcast. We're back. We got the guys here, the gang here, the family here. We got Ace.
What's up?
We got Wes.
Yo.
We got Ghost.
Good.
And we got myself, Questlando. Guys, how y'all doing? How y'all feeling?
Good.
As I was talking about before we had to, just make sure that the podcast audio is good and working as it should be. Was the TLDR was we had a trip planned, Chicago. It was last weekend. We were about to go there, have a blast, but it didn't work out like we all expected. Things happened. Things got canceled, and now we are, just back. And Lord's will, we'll get him on next time. Now, what I was gonna say from there is, even though our trip was a bust, how was your trip, Wes? In a few words.
It was straight. No issues. Made it out to France fine. Chilled mostly. Caught a concert. which was
Anybody good?
Very good. Jill Scott.
Oh,
she's
you
great.
mentioned that.
Yeah,
I don't
she's
know
a
if that
great
was on here
performer.
or off, but you did mention that.
And it was live instruments. So it was cool. Very cool.
Damn.
But yeah.
You were over there having a ball. Oh, well. Salute to you. Nice. Okay. Nice little recap. Before we get into the
Just a
topics.
quick question for Wes. My
go
bad. This is probably a stupid question, but since you did see it in France, did she speak any level of French, or was it just
Yeah.
English and people had to deal with it?
She made a couple jokes and spoke a couple words, but she said her French is horrible, so
Okay, I was just curious. Something I was wondering.
yeah.
Concerts in other countries. In
I mean, when
general.
artists go international, the audience doesn't expect them to speak the language, do they?
No. But I think some artists that may know a few words, they tend to engage by trying.
Gotcha. Did you? I guess since we're talking about it, did you notice if the crowd was singing along at all?
Oh yeah. Everybody knew the words. It was the like 20-year anniversary of her first album, or 23. I guess during the pandemic she had to cancel it, so it got pushed out. But it was like she did the first album in entirety and a couple of encores. Y'all know about the national anthem thing she does?
When she does the national anthem and she like does some pitches in her voice.
Yeah, but no, she changed the words to make it very controversial.
What is the
But
national? Can anyone here like if a gun's to her quote the national anthem?
Probably not
Not the whole
thing.
thing,
I
but I
don't
can
know
do a
by
good
heart.
chunk because of sports and all.
Oh yeah. Okay. All right. Just inquiring. So let's just got a whole legend. Did you get any footy? I know we're more like just enjoy the moment, but I would like to see what that looks like.
Yeah, I did get some. I'll shoot that to the group.
Bet. Dope. Um. Okay. Cool. What was I about to- Oh yeah. So yeah. Unless there's anything. Oh, does anyone have any recommendations outside of music, of course? Any content that they consumed recently that they want to come here and share?
Yeah, I have a quick book recommendation. It's called Old Man's War by John Scalzi. It's a sci-fi set in the future where basically old people fight wars in space. I would say it was very reminiscent of me. I mean, for me, of Starship Troopers. I only saw the movie. I never read the book, but it was extremely humorous, and that's pretty much why I liked the book. But I mean, it had some cool sci-fi concepts too. But it was hilarious.
Is that one movie with that one dude? You know,
Barney.
I want to say his real name, but yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I want to watch that movie
I gotta
again.
go back and watch it too because I can't remember
Yeah,
if how much I liked it. I know it was kind of like cool and trippy. But
yeah. It's kind of like had this satirical vibe. And yeah, this book had the same vibe. It was very good though, and it's kind of short. It's not a long read or anything like that. It's part of a series, um, but yeah, first book was great.
got you, got you, got you. Oh, Lord have mercy. Is there anything else?
Nope, not for me.
Yeah, I actually don't think I have anything. So, I mean, without further ado, we'll just get right to the topics. And to be honest, I think that's just the only things I've been like kind of processing and like taking in. So I probably do have something if I really put my mind to it, but I don't want to hold this up. Yeah, let's get right into the topics. And you already got the thing pulled up, right, Ace?
Yep.
So let's go first to here, and then straight to the stream. Oh wait, I gotta blow it up. Oops, I messed it up, but it's alright. Yes, here we go. Salute to Hollywood Unlocked, salute to Jason Lee. This first story, the headline is former store employee sues company after being fired for putting hands on an armed thief stealing cigarettes. I guess let's just watch the video right before we even read any further. See what happened.
Approached the counter in a wide-brimmed hat. It's hard to see, but he's holding two knives. One still in a package, the other is in his hand.
And it's like with a knife.
By then, store customer Larry Wagner had stepped outside to call 911.
He was scary. And like I said, I wish I would have stayed in the store for Mary's sake.
Mary is Marianne Marino, the clerk, who had worked at the Circle K in Westminster for 18 years. When she refused to give Weimer a free pack of cigarettes as he demanded, he simply walked around the counter and took them.
When he came around that fast, he was like right there, and a knife.
First of all, don't at these grocery or gas stations usually like they have like a whole glass encased. You can't get behind there. You shouldn't just be able to walk around there. But maybe that's irrelevant in this particular case.
This is Colorado.
Can you just can we put a pin in this for a second? Remind me to comment on something, a recommendation after we talk about this. That's kind of relevant. So.
To this story?
Yeah, it reminded me of it. But go ahead.
Wow. Okay, I'll allow it. Okay. Let's watch the rest of it, Ace.
Freaked out, and I just went like that. Well, supposedly, I guess I grabbed his arm. I don't remember that, but I pushed him, and that's when he ran out.
Let's rewind and watch again. That 3 seconds of her touching Weimer erased 18 years with Circle K, fired for allegedly violating the company's don't chase or confront policy when it comes to shoplifters and robbers. Circle K says it won't comment on pending litigation, but employees are told this policy is for your protection and for the safety of everyone.
I don't feel that I violated the policy when they're coming around. It's natural that you're going to, either defend yourself or you're going to react.
Salute to this old Marianne Marino. Is that how they said their name? So I'll read a bit of it. In a surprising turn of events, a long-time Circle K employee. Is Circle K like a franchise or gas station or something like that? It does sound familiar, don't it? Employee Marianne Marino filed a lawsuit against the company after being fired for an incident involving a shoplifter who stole a pack of cigarettes. Marianne, who had worked at the Colorado Circle K store for an impressive 18 years, was terminated after briefly touching an armed thief in an attempt to prevent him from making off the stolen goods. The incident in 2020 was captured on surveillance footage, which showed the thief asking for a free pack of cigarettes, which Marianne declined. So yeah, I mean, that's kind of the whole in and outs of the story. You have this very old and incredibly loyal employee. They experienced, and I would almost believe this wasn't their first interaction with somebody, with a shoplifter or somebody that's kind of, being this after 18 years, they've probably seen a lot. But in this scenario, they got fully caught on camera, and unfortunately, they lost their entire job over it. So I mean, obviously, I think we've heard of stores or companies having this type of policy, and where if someone's like stealing, you gotta let them go because like as they said it in that it seemed like they had like the company's policy up. It is for the safety of their employees. But I'm curious to know what you guys think of this scenario, and I guess those type of policies in general. Like, what's y'all takes on a story like this? Do you think? Well, not even the story specifically, but like, what's your take on when like people go beyond, above and beyond for their company, and do you think it is like wrong for termination? I guess we'll start with you, Wes, since you also have a recommendation based off this. I'm wholly curious to know what this story sparked your memory of.
I would say that for people who do not own their company, especially not part of the ownership of the company,
So most people.
yeah, it's pretty silly. If it's property you're
but you're
trying to
just
defend,
but you're just referring to the first question of like, what do you think of people going above and beyond like this?
yeah.
Okay, sorry, go ahead.
If it's property that you're trying to defend over actual people, like if there's people involved, I get it. If it's property, let it go. Let it go. Like it's not worth it. Um, but as for this particular case and being terminated for it, uh, it seems a little wild um, that it went down like that. Um, and I don't know. I get that they're trying to stick to their rules, but in term and I don't know if it should be a necessarily a blanket case that people should get terminated for things like this. Um, but I do think it should be discouraged.
When you say discouraged, do you mean like the company should be like very adamant about it, or do you think there should be like examples of it so people don't do it like this?
Yeah, I mean they should be adamant about it. They might. I don't know what disciplinary actions of a company would make sense in this case.
Maybe
But
instead of an entire firing, maybe just a suspension
yeah, but
at the
technically
minimum.
an unpaid suspension, maybe. Yeah, I guess because I don't understand these paid time off situations where there's supposed to be a reprimanding. But but yeah, something like that.
Got you. Or just like a warning, like do we know if this was the first
Right.
offense or like?
Yeah, exactly. Maybe that too. Yeah, like you get one warning or two warnings. After that, you get
Are
terminated.
demerits only a school thing, or does that term come from like other places of business?
Listen,
It comes from the military.
Oh shoot. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. What was the recommendation that you thought of? Wes? Oh shoot.
Oh,
He's doing a super future.
something's going on.
I think your no, I know your audio is kind of bugged out. I guess in the interim, what's your take on this thing, on this scenario, Ghost? What do you think of people when they go above and beyond their, for their company like this?
I mean, I basically feel the same way as Wes does. Me personally, you would never, ever in a million years find me actively going out of my way to defend the store from being robbed, especially at spots where I used to work retail. They had this policy, and I'm not putting my life on the line to make sure people don't steal stuff from Walmart. To be honest, I've kind of looked the other way when people are stolen, but that's kind of a different story. But as far as this, the policy in general, I do agree with it. I don't agree with the firing. I think that's too harsh of a punishment. But yeah, I mean, I kind of understand why people instinctively decide to try to stop someone that's robbing, because you, especially after 18 years, I mean, even if you're not a part of the company, like you're turning the profits, you still feel like you're a part of the company and that you've worked for them for so long. So I guess I
You're
can,
damn right. This old lady felt like that's
yeah,
damn near family at this point.
like, I don't know if she knows the manager or something, or I don't know what the deal is. But if it's, again, if it's a Walmart or something, it's completely different than if it's like a local mom and pop store that you know the owners and you've been cool with them for a while. But all that aside, I mean, I agree with the policy again. Shouldn't have fired her. It's kind of ridiculous. Even if she was actively trying to stop him, I mean, you can reprimand someone without firing him. So
So real
just
quick,
seems,
because I've also worked in service type, retail type situations. So put me in your shoes, or walk me through it. If you see somebody shoplifting, and they're they're maybe even coming to your space to do the shoplifting, you're just gonna stand there and not do nothing. You're just chilling.
what you mean? Well, okay, again, this is if I was at Walmart.
Because Marianne here made a good point. I don't want to focus on the story too much, but they made a really good point. In the moment when somebody's like, making certain maneuvers, even if you know that their intention is just to take something and leave, we're all humans at the end of the day. You might just instinctively push them back, or maybe throw kick jab.
Again, it's like if they were like aggressively trying to do something and like run up on you or like give me all the money and register or something. If it was something like that, it'd kind of be different. But when I used to work self checkout at Walmart and people would do the not the to the extent of like the banana under the banana barcode on the Xbox, but something
Gotcha.
similar. I'd see people trying to pull some stuff, and when it's like that, I could not care less. I'm looking the other way. They can do what they do. If they get caught, it's none of my business. That's how I look at it.
I think I saw a story about that recently, about how like the most like stolen items when it comes to the self checkout is like meats and seafoods. I think that's what they like. There's like some data to back that up.
Huh. That's interesting.
But yeah, no, what you're saying makes sense. Are we back, Wes? You sound all right.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good.
Got you. Do you want to get out the rest of your piece before we move on?
To be honest, I don't really recall what the thread was when I was speaking. So I think I'm straight. Oh, I was gonna ask though, did they mention, because she verbally told him no, you can't have this, whatever, the free cigarettes, and then he
As
proceeded
one
to
would.
but I mean, yeah, I mean, I think it's you give them a quick verbal, hey, I see you, like, and then if they don't want to listen or comply, I mean, as far as like, or if you think that the situation is going to get dangerous, you back off. I mean, I think that's how it should be.
Okay. If you guys say you would just chill back and not do nothing, or maybe you, in your case, you would say a little something, but I believe it. And what about you, Ace? What do you think of this story? What do you think about when people go above and beyond for their companies like this?
I think I'm on the same page with Wes and Ghost pretty much. Shouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it. And Unfortunately, I'm probably siding more with the company as far as letting her go.
Damn.
If they, well, yeah, they already did. Because it's not only that she did what she did. Like even if it was kind of like unintentional or whatever, or just like a reaction to the guy coming behind the counter, that's still a problem. Like if that's how she reacts, just like, if something happens and her ability to control herself from putting her hands on the person goes out the window, it's still a problem. So like in that way I can still see firing being justified if she can't, restrict herself from engaging and stick to the policy.
That's kind of
So yeah.
crazy way to phrase it.
So you're basically saying like, even if this particular situation like it was like a non-factor because their actions didn't result in anything crazy, the company is probably looking at this like they're like a liability.
Exactly.
Which is unfortunate at the end of the day because, again, I think this is something that's not irreconcilable. I think even if you looked at this situation like we have an employee that it would violate the policy, isn't there isn't there like a process like, okay, review like use it as like a training or learning lesson for other people? I don't know. It just kind of, I think everybody, I think for what we're looking at it, maybe this is like the more the story. I think we can look at this and be like sympathetic of it because like a person that's been with a company 18 years getting fired for something that looks very, like it was like I said, it was like a 3-second reaction turning into a firing. I think people are sympathetic of that, but I think if we're looking at it objectively, I think Ace is probably more on the right side of like you do have to, as a company, you have to do some type of action. But I mean, the story is that they're filing a lawsuit, so it would be interesting if they won this lawsuit, and then it would be. I guess. Well, I wonder what would be the how would they win it if really it's a matter of a company has a policy and then they violated it. But I digress. Okay. Interesting. Yeah, if there's nothing else on this, we can move on to the next story.
Well, that recommendation was a movie
Oh yeah.
called Cinnamon. It's actually on, I think it's on Tubi, and it was surprisingly
Tubi.
good. Yeah, it was surprisingly good.
Is Tubi free? Like I always hear about that
Yeah.
streaming service, but I never seen nothing on Tubi.
Yeah, it's free. But yeah, check that out.
Give
You'll understand.
us the synopsis. Why should one go and watch it?
Black movie, and it's it has to do with a gas station and a robbery situation. It's in the and it's just very good.
It's like a comedy.
No,
Oh shoot!
no, it's like a thriller.
Damn. Interesting.
Yeah.
Do Tubi movies be having like people that we know in them, or just be like a guy that lives down the street?
It has Pam Grier in it. It has who else?
They got Damon Wayans in this.
Yeah,
What?
Damon Wayans. Yeah.
Oh,
I
I
might
mean
actually
that should be the first person you said, but that's fine. Okay,
Yeah.
so it's a Tubi then. Okay.
I'm pretty sure I watched John Wick 1 on Tubi.
Oh, so they got real movies too. Wait, we watched John Wick together. What are you talking about?
Well, I watched it again recently.
Oh, okay, gotcha. All right, fair enough. I might ask you later for that recommendation again, so I can put it in the description. But thank you.
Sure.
Okay, so if there's nothing else, we can move on to the next topic. Oh my gosh, I already know. Oh Lord. You know, it was only a matter of time before we bumped into this. Kind of view this as passport bros, if anyone's familiar with that movement or slogan. But this is basically the age-old 90-day. Well, actually, there's a bunch of stories that come out of 90-Day Fiancé, and not always just one-to-one like this particular topic. But this is like one of the main issues a lot of people that are involved with the 90-day fiance type escapade or run into. And I'll just let the video speak for itself. Roll it.
Normally and typically in an Arab household, the man usually is the provider financially, and that's just how it is.
That is just something I wasn't prepared for.
Most Arab women expect that.
Just like most American people expect the woman to contribute half, or not half, just contribute.
But you're not dealing with an American woman.
No, but she'd have to deal with some of my things though too. This was definitely not what I wanted to hear. I thought Moroccan women prioritize family over material things, and I was not anticipating that it would mean I have to be the sole provider for a household. I didn't sign up for this.
Oh my god.
Was this a clip from 90 Day Fiance or something, or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry if that didn't make
I don't know how the show works.
Abundantly clear. I know stuff that other people don't know in this podcast. But anyway, I guess to give the super TLDR, people that find love overseas or in different countries or in different cultures, this is the show, not just of the entire process. You find somebody overseas, and then the process in a nutshell for them to be able to live in the States is having like a 90-day, I don't know if it's visa, but it's a 90-day documentation that allows you with that time frame to make the final decision. Hence 90-day fiance.
That's crazy.
But
I believe they have to get married within that 90 days.
Oh yeah.
That's unbelievable. What?
People in the same countries get married in less time frame, but that's neither here nor there. So yeah. But as you see based off this clip, the problem with some of these scenarios is while people can build a maybe emotional or compatibility connection with somebody overseas, some things like culturally you may not be one-to-one in agreement with, like this scenario where we have, the woman was very explicit, which I appreciate her, because that woman thinks the way a lot of women think, especially when it comes to women overseas or from different cultures like that, or from Middle Eastern countries and things of that nature, is also relatively common in Latin American countries. As a guy, they're gonna expect you to take the vast majority be footing the vast majority of the bills, or be the provider, as a guy rightfully should be. But I think he's kind of stretching. Let me not assign what I'm thinking. One could argue he's kind of stretching it a bit, because even in the States, I think a lot of women would argue they're still looking for a provider. But you could clearly say that it is way more common for both parties to be working and contributing. Like he said, he's looking for someone to contribute, period. Maybe not 50-50, but the idea of him being the sole provider, he's unprepared for. Hence, now we're in a situation where this guy's going overseas looking for one thing, because he's probably going overseas because women overseas tend to be, in some people's opinions, they have some of the features and characteristics that guy's looking for, but he just wasn't ready for the entire package. And obviously, this is a topic that can get really dicey, and people have a lot of hot takes on it. And I don't want to have the whole thing right now, but I figured this was a good intro to it. And I guess one of the first questions that come about when this topic comes up is the topic of when you bump into a relationship like this, how should people move? And what I mean by that is when it comes to adapting to different cultures. So basically, when you're looking for a partner from a different culture, not just maybe overseas, but different culture period, should you be ready to accept that person's culture? I.e., if they expect you to be the head provider or the majority provider? Or do you think that person's going to have to adapt to your ideals, especially if they're coming to live with you? Because that is what on this, based off this circumstances, based off majority of circumstances. That's what it usually kind of comes down to. What do you think, Ace? Do you think this guy and guys like this are tweaking, or do you think he has a valid point?
I mean, he technically does have a valid point. I mean, if his ideal relationship or whatever set up as far as providing financially is concerned is a 50-50 deal, that's perfectly fine. That's perfectly fine. He can have that desire, but as goofy as heck to be finding out. He had to find out somehow, but you would think they would have talked about this, discussed this. It would have been clear, and you would also think that is something he would consider when trying to marry someone out of the States too, because it's like, I don't know, if you're looking for somebody out of the States, you are typically looking for something specific. Like, there is the general perception that women outside of the States are going to be
what are they going to be?
They're going to be less I don't know, like independent minded, more willing to cater to the man and cooking, whatever, cleaning, things like that.
Basically more traditional, if we were to sum it up.
Yes, sum it up. And you would also consider, I mean, in my mind, it would be, if they're expected to be like that, then they would also expect me to be the provider, because how are they going to do all that stuff if it's a 50-50 situation when they're providing financially as well? Like, that doesn't really add up. So I don't know. He should have considered it, but I mean, it's a show, so they gotta play it up. But if he truly is just finding out, like, just in some random conversation in shops or wherever they were, like, that's silly.
Yeah, for everyone that's looking at this and thinking this is like completely like unbelievable. Yes, there's a lot of sauce put on stuff like this. Absolutely. I mean, just the fact that there's cameras in these people's faces, they're gonna turn up. But you raised a lot of your points. Well, there was something I was gonna. Oh, but to the defense of the guy, I don't know if I'm really defending the guy saying this, but one of the things though, he wasn't the both parties contributing with just his general expectation, so that's why that could potentially have not come up. Like, if you have a general expectation that like your partner is gonna like make the bed every morning, and you can't even like fathom a world in which that's not the case, because you live in a world in which that's just a common thing, i.e. in the States it's very common for both parties to contribute to the household. Do you think he's really out of out of pocket for like thinking that was going to be the case?
I think so. I don't see how you could not expect there to be some type of conversation that needs to be had about it. Like, it's just not even in the realm of possibility, or like, to not even think about it is just kind of wild to me.
Fair enough.
I have a question for you, Ace.
Oh,
this isn't like a gotcha or anything. I'm just curious. Would you discuss this with a woman on, I don't know about the first date, but like about your expectations as far as paying the bills and doing all that, who's paying for what versus what her responsibilities are going to be in a theoretical relationship?
Yes, I mean, yes, without having had the actual experience, I'm just saying what I expect / plan to do. I would say 100% yes.
Just wondering. I mean, I believe it knowing you, but
that's absolutely positively a good question. We like good questions around here. Oh yeah, we're gonna go to you next, Wes. What do you think? What do you think of this? Do you think what do you think when it comes to like culture differences? Do you think the person going overseas should be more adapting to that person's culture, or do you think the person coming back home should be more adapting to that culture? And what do you think? I guess this guy's reaction in general.
No, I mean, I think both people have to be have to adapt to each other's culture because they're both accepting each other as
Who has to adapt more?
partner. It depends. There's no rule. Um, if you have a situation in which the one party has more non-negotiables than the other, then the person with
Who do you
the
think should be
more
coming in with more non-negotiables?
I don't think it. I don't think it's a. I don't think there's a science to that.
Not
Some people,
not
some, like
necessarily a
you may
science,
have.
but you don't
So
think
let me.
it should be a in general for a case in which a person is choosing to seek a partner overseas, and then on the other flip side, a person is completely giving up their life in a different, completely different territory to come to another territory. You don't think there's any type of like guidance or like general way a person should go about that?
No, because at the end of the day, they're both making a decision. Like the person that has the suitor from overseas coming over to them to take them out of their country, whatever, they still have to say yes.
I
Like,
don't know if you agree, if you really believe that.
okay, I mean, I think, yeah, I think the type of person to say yes is the type of person that's gonna have to. They're both gonna have to realize that there are a lot of cultural changes that they'll have to adjust to. I don't necessarily think that one side or the other has to or should have more or less or whatever. If one person is, like I said, the person with more non-negotiables is going to be the one that has more or less flexibility, and if that's not going to work for the other partner, then it's not going to work.
Well, I mean, let's just look at the scenario in general. Do you think who's being more flexible just in the circumstance of somebody bringing somebody to a whole nother country?
The circumstance of someone, the person moving,
Right.
yeah.
So so there is somebody that's less being more
Well, let's say
flexible.
okay. Let's say the person moving. Okay, let's say this Moroccan situation. Let's say that Moroccan person has watched nothing but American movies since their birth, and they idealize American culture. They love the lingo, they love the dress, they love everything about America, and they want to be basically, or they admire the culture so much that they want to be like.
Do they still adhere to the cultures and traditions of wherever they're from?
They may, yeah, they may, but just because they still are in that place, but they have
Because a
to.
person's not going overseas to look for somebody that's the exact same thing that they can find in the States.
Sure, sure. Well, sure, but that person, so they might, they might dress a certain way, they might talk a certain way, they might follow certain customs, simply because in terms of what they're willing to change and adjust to. And once that person goes over to the US, they don't have a problem sliding right into the culture. And you have an opposite situation where they're very traditional, but for whatever reason, they still click with this person and they want to keep all their customs. And they feel that they even have a bargaining chip because they have to travel and leave their country. So they feel that they should be able to keep and uphold a lot of their traditions. And the person bringing that person over is going to have to weigh, they're both going to have to weigh those situations and those scenarios.
But if you're agreeing to leave an entire country to go somewhere else, you don't have this bargaining chip that you're stating. You're basically giving that person your not your entire life, but you're giving that person a lot of high amounts of like authority over you if you're making a decision like that.
No, I disagree. The conversations just have to be had. If the person says, I'm going to go over there, but
You
I'm
don't
going,
think that if you're if okay, the agreement is that we're getting married and that we love each other and all that. But if a person says, okay, I'm gonna move to where you are to be with you, that just by the definition of what the agreement is, you are giving up authority to that person. You're giving your trust to that person.
trust, yeah. I don't understand what you're driving at though.
So that means if you give up your authority to a person, or if you put your trust and authority to that person, you are conceding things.
You're conceding living with the person in their country. That's it.
I mean, that's a big thing, and that
Yeah, it is a big.
and that like there's a lot of implications to that.
Yeah.
Because if you're going to live with anybody, even if it's just like you're going to live with the person down the street, you got to start to adhere to what their lifestyle is.
Not necessarily. You still have to have the conversation. If you say, I'm going over there, but this particular custom I still want to hold on to, you have to have that conversation.
I mean, my point is obviously these conversations need to be had, but
Yeah.
I think,
And then
but you would
having
agree
that
that expectations need to be like tempered and realistic, right? You can't like say, okay, I'm gonna go live, or maybe you do think this. I'm gonna go live with you, but I gotta have X Y. I gotta A B C X like E F D W D. Like you can't get everything because you're by definition like forfeiting and agreeing to be on this person's program.
No, what? I think
The way you're phrasing the question is like if you're like you're gonna be living with them as a guest.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, not necessarily. I don't know why you're getting the guest part, but you are going to be. You're attaching You're attaching yourself onto that person.
I don't think that's the right way to look at it, though, because it's a joint thing. Like you're making the decision, but you're making the decision with the idea that you're going into this with the other person, and you're going to be if you're going to be living at their place or living somewhere else, you're going to be living together as a couple. It's not like you're going to be going to their house and you have to abide by their rules.
You're not just choosing to be a couple and living somewhere. You're choosing to be a couple and moving to where that person lives and under that person's like guidance and under that person's culture, essentially.
That's I don't agree with that.
Right.
What's the difference between? I mean, there is a difference, but if you were moving to a different state, I look at it the same way as that.
That's literally like a micro version of it. If you live on the East Coast and then you find somebody that lives on the West Coast and you move to them, you're gonna have to adapt to we're gonna have to adapt to West Coast things.
That's true, but
yes, but that is only in so much as you allow. Like, if the person from the East Coast wants something that they did in the East Coast or wants some that's realistic and something that they can potentially do, and you talk about it, they can have that. Like you're it's not that now you have to cede everything. Like it's
No one said concede everything, and you can have your wants, but again, my question is more so like what's realistic and what's like is there some level of standard that a person should be looking at it from? You guys really don't see that? It is like you're just completely like you can agree to do this life-changing like altering decision, but you can still have you should still have all your wants. Is that what we're saying?
That's not that was never what we were arguing. It was just that the conversations and the agreements have to be made in any case. And as I said, there's going to be there's necessarily going to be one person with more non-negotiables.
Okay, so let me ask this then.
And I'm saying that it's not on the one part or the other or some mathematical formula where one person necessarily has more or
maybe
less.
Not mathematic, but there are some general like ways to go about certain things. So let me ask you this, and it's going to be completely hard to grasp because we're guys, so it typically isn't a one-to-one. But let's say you were again like a vice versa, but in this young lady's shoes, and so you agreed to get married and you agreed to completely move your whole life to another place. Would you go into that relationship or that situation saying, hey, okay, we're going to live together, but I need this, I need that, I need this. Oh, by the way, you're going to take care of this. I'm not going to do this. You got to be on top of this, that, and that. Would you go into the relationship with a whole bunch of demands?
It's not
demands.
I'm asking Wes.
No. First, okay. It's not about demands.
Well,
if
you're going what they're looking for is demands, essentially.
Well, hear what I'm saying. If you're going into a relationship, no matter where you are or who you are, there are things that you are going to have to come together in agreement on that are different on one side and on the other side. it's not about going there to bring your list of demands, and like that's like a, I don't know, a business relationship.
But you guys understand that there's business involved with, like, we're talking about literally,
Absolutely,
like, we're not
absolutely.
talking about relationship. You got to think in the context of going overseas or a completely different culture. Like, that is the predominant factor here.
Absolutely. But if you have, that's why I say, if you have non-negotiables, you should make those known up front so that you can discuss them and see what is possible and what's not possible.
Okay, and I'm asking, because you didn't really answer the question, if you were in that circumstance, would you go into the situation with a bunch of non-negotiables?
Would I specifically?
Yeah, I'm asking you. I'm like, what? Do I need to ask the question again?
There are non-negotiables, yes.
Would you
Is
go
it a
into
bunch?
yes, with a bunch.
No.
With a bunch and
would go into it.
expecting them to be delivered upon.
I would go into it with just as many non-negotiables as I have for somebody in the States.
If you were going overseas, if
Yeah.
someone was moving you,
Yeah.
so you'd be like this woman, basically.
What? Oh, non-negotiables are non-negotiables. I don't understand.
I just asking the question. You'd be like this woman. You can say yes, and that'd be fine.
I don't know if that makes me like the woman.
The woman had some negotiables. She's like, okay, we're doing this, but I need this, and that. What's the problem?
Okay, sure.
Okay, that's fine. I'm just here to completely understand you guys' way of thinking. Even though it sounds good, I don't know if it's all the way there, but it's supposed to be quick anyway. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm getting I'm getting that way. I guess real quick, Go. So what is your take on that? It seemed like you also kind of in line with Wes. You have some. You think homegirls in the right completely?
Well, I mostly agree with Wes. I'll keep it quick. I don't. The way that I think she's thinking is, I don't think that moving overseas or anything like that should have anything to do with it.
It has a lot.
You can have your list of quote unquote demands or non-negotiables, all that stuff that's related to culture that you're not willing to concede on. But I don't think that the fact that you have to move to a different state or different country, whatever, should have anything to do with your negotiations within your marriage. Because
exactly,
it's like, I would look at, like you were talking about the list of non-negotiables. Would I ask that in this position as her? I would have my list of non-negotiables be the same with any woman if she was overseas or if she lived in the state we live in. If
they're coming to you,
it wouldn't make a difference if I was going to her or she was coming to me. That part doesn't have any effect.
All right, let's put some. I think the problem. Real quick, I think the problem here is you guys are completely underestimating what type of I'm kind of surprised, but how much of a overtaking it is to completely. State to state is already a big transition, but to completely move to a different country with an entirely different culture.
I know.
Let me say this. You think it's going to be? If you really think it's realistic and completely ordinary for you to go in with every single one of your expectations that you would have in that environment, in a new environment, it sounds a little bit.
Listen.
Let me say. Well,
go ahead.
Let me say my thing first. So, the way you're phrasing it, it makes it seem kind of like because. And again, I know
I'm phrasing it.
Oh, let him go.
I'm not coming at you for the way you phrase it because I know what you mean, but it's like it seems kind of like you're under the impression that if someone has to go to a completely different country, which again is a huge undertaking, I'm not trying to undersell that, but you make it seem like because they're doing that, the person has to uproot their life and move to a different country should have more of a say, I guess,
right,
in what concessions they're willing to give up or not give up because they're sacrificing more. I don't think that's the right way to look at it. I mean, other people might think differently, but just me personally in the relationship I want to be in, that the way I'm thinking about it is if we make a decision to be together and we're in different countries, we got to figure out a way to make it work, but it shouldn't be where, oh, because I have to travel more, then you owe me a little bit more. Where in the
Right.
flip side, if you
Exactly.
have to travel more, I owe you. It shouldn't, and to me, it shouldn't be like that. Like that's independent of our relationship. Because again, what happens after the transitionary period and after they're acclimated to the new country and it's been 5 years, they're cool and they're living in the US or wherever, and then you like you you looked at what I don't want to say negotiated because this isn't like a freaking business transaction, but you
Again,
look at the decisions you made at
marriage
the time.
and specifically marriage like this, there is business involved. You can't escape.
Yeah, again, yeah, I get. I don't know. You're right in that. I don't know how 50 to 90 Day Fiance works. I'm sure there's a lot of foolery that goes on, but in a relationship that I would envision myself in, I don't want to have to look back in 5 years and be like, oh damn, I gave up too much because at the time
Yeah.
they had given up more because they had to move and all that. So that's how
Exactly. And when I say non-negotiable, I'm not talking about the things that you're like, oh, I'm flexible on, but I don't want to do this, or I do want to do that in general, but I'm flexible on it. And then, oh well, I see that she's the one who had to leave, so I'll give her this or whatever, whatever. I'm talking about things like I want kids. I'm talking about things like even like this, I expect both people to be working at some point or most of the time. Like things that you cannot really again, non-negotiable. So like are these things going to change if it's in the US or if it's in another country? Wanting kids, wanting the person to also contribute to the household in terms of financially, these things are not going to change. So if the person in the other country can't do it, then y'all don't need to be together. It's that simple. Like,
Okay, let me see if I can get this out. And it's not even gonna be another way, but let me see if I can get it out one more time. And because I don't want this to be completely contentious, and I'm almost 100% sure you guys already know, but I am essentially I'm just kind of challenging the thought process, of course. Okay, so what I'm saying is, when you make a decision, it could be at a small level, as in you have to move states or move across the country, or even it could be as simple, because I started by saying culture. It could even be as simple as being like, okay, you come from I don't know, an Asian background, and then you're marrying somebody with a West Indian background, and you have to, if depending on which standpoint you're coming from, you have to adapt to certain things. So that's kind of like the framing. When it comes to overseas, because you gotta kind of, I'm not saying you're underestimating it, but I think you're still thinking of it like an idealistic situation where, okay, no matter what the circumstances is, two people should still come together with the same level of expectations and have their non-negotiables. What I'm saying is, when the larger of the essentially sacrifice, even if it could be like a better circumstance, because maybe they're gonna inherently have a better life in the States or whatever country they go to. You are making a sacrifice. So just by the definition of that choice, you are already essentially saying, okay, I'm giving up this, and by making this choice, I'm gonna have to go somewhere where it's completely new to me. I'm not from this environment. I'm putting essentially my life in somebody else's hands because I'm agreeing to marry them. So, I mean, whenever stuff goes awry, or whenever I have questions, or whenever I need to essentially start to begin to navigate my life in this different environment, I'm gonna have to go to that person. So that the mind frame of somebody in that situation, it's just by the definition of what they made the choice is gonna be, okay, I need to go into this with the more open mind, flexible nature, or else it is a less likely chance that it's not gonna work. That's basically what I'm trying to get across.
What needs to happen when somebody moves to the other person's country or whatever is simply that the partner supports them through whatever cultural changes they have to endure as a result of it that may not be comfortable. So
yeah, okay, I'm rocking.
so let's say, I don't know, traditions or even laws or certain things are different to where that person is taken aback by an interaction that they have outside of the house with somebody who's in that new country. The partner's job at that point is to support and help that person understand what's going on and also make that person feel more comfortable. Maybe they can do something within the house to make them feel more comfortable. However, I think that the disconnect between what we're saying is I don't see that as the person welcoming the other person now having to break some of their non-negotiables over the fact that they're over wherever, wherever that person is, the person coming to the country is.
Well,
I think
again, I never said you have to break non-negotiables. If you have non-negotiables, I'm never going to be like you should break them. But you could argue you have to maybe not go in with a bunch of them.
That's what I'm saying. And when I say non-negotiable, well, okay, the thing is, non-negotiables are non-negotiables. So if you have a lot of non-negotiables and you're going to another country, that person has to fit the bill. If you have a few, that person still has to fit the bill. That's what I'm trying to say. So like, if you try to have a lot of non-negotiables in a place where people are drastically different from you, you're not going to have a lot of success.
Right.
Which
So
is, I think, what you're not going to have a lot of success, but that doesn't mean now you have to change something. It just means you're not gonna get that person you wanted. So I think what you're saying is if you end up in a situation where you're already with this person that you shouldn't necessarily be with because they don't fit the bill, then you have to come in with less. Like it's a weird, unless you're just trying to say that in order to, and it depending on, I guess it depends on the country and the culture, in order to even be on the dating market or to be appealing to some of these people, you have to have few non-negotiables. Maybe that's what you're trying to say.
I'm trying to say, if you make the decision, the agreement that, okay, I'm going to marry this person and go live with them and take on everything that comes with that, you can't go in like, because even what you were saying, like the partner has to help them adapt to the culture and the land. I agree with that, like completely. But on the opposite end, that partner can't come in guns blazing. They can't come in with like, they can't come in thinking everything's gonna be exactly the same or 100% like I perfect or idealistic. There are gonna be some things that you may not like the way it sounds. You have to concede on. It just is what it is.
Yeah, I guess on the side of the person moving, they have to decide what they can accept. Yeah, absolutely. But that was what I was saying in the first place. Both people, when you have people coming
so we agree on that, and I guess I would add to that and say that person's expectations should be realistic.
Yeah, I mean, expectations should always be realistic. But my point is, from the beginning, I said both people are going to have to mesh and figure out the agreements that work for them, regardless. So,
yes,
and I was just saying,
that's advice that's in general with all relationships.
Exactly, and I was just saying that I don't think you can prescribe which one is gonna or should have more.
I am the person that's making the decision to move is going to, because just by the definition of what their choice is, they're going to. It's just like when you make a decision to like go to a different job, like there's different things that are going to come with that job. And if that job is in a different location or maybe it pays more or whatever the case may be, there's different things that come with that job. You just have to be prepared. That's kind of fundamental. What
but you're trying to quantify it. Like as I said, what if the
less?
Person?
I'm not saying anything except less.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't see that. I'm just saying, like, one of the people.
It's not. There's less chance it's gonna work if it's not less. That's just what it is.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, you don't have to be like wishy-washy. If you fully disagree, that's fine.
Yeah,
but,
no, I do.
I don't think you have a solid point to stand on.
No, I know that there are people who are flexible and there are people who are inflexible, and it doesn't necessarily fall on one side or the other. More so or less so.
I don't know what that.
It's like you're saying that if there, let's say there's 5 non-negotiables on each side. Okay, then the person moves. You're saying the person who moved is going to be unequal.
I'm saying the person that moves probably should have 4.
That's what I'm saying. Okay, fine. What if the person who moved only has 1 to begin with?
That's fine. As long as it's less. Like I'm pretty clear in what I'm trying to illustrate here.
All right, and what if it's vice versa? The person on the other side had 1 and the other person had 5.
If the person that's moving has more non-negotiables,
yeah.
I will say the thing that is kind of a variability here is you could, I guess that's what you were saying before, so maybe my apologies. The person that's like you're moving to, if they completely are very lax and don't care,
That's what I'm trying to say.
But that's not realistic. now you're saying that's something that's not realistic.
All right, what is it, impossible?
Oh, so now we're thinking, is it possible? Yes, it's possible that you find somebody that you can come inside the house and do whatever. You could paint the walls. You can literally like stomp on their furniture. Yes, you can do everything. That's not realistic though. A person probably gonna have some level of expectations and boundaries and like.
You know what? I have a case in point, or not a case in point necessarily, but like, I think you're not giving any or enough weight to the people who are very flexible, because a lot of times these types of people are like older, maybe less attractive men who are looking for.
Now
are you saying that the simps are gonna give?
Now I'm rolling. You got okay.
So I don't know. I'm not saying that that's the only type of person who can be flexible.
Listen,
I don't think you're giving enough weight to that.
When you're right, you're right. Now you're introducing something. I get you. I got it. All right. Yep. Yeah.
All right. I think I disagree.
Even women,
good.
Yeah. It's more likely on the guy's side, but yeah, you're right. No, what are you saying, Ghost? He's right. He's 100% right. If you're a guy of like lower socioeconomic status and you're just trying to find love and it happens to be for somebody overseas, you're gonna be willing to put up with a lot. And especially, again, there's a lot of sauce in this, but if you watch the show in case, like the show in question, is a lot of guys giving up life savings, giving up relationships.
I said I agree.
Oh, I thought you said you disagree.
I agree with him. I disagree with you. I said I think we're good to.
You disagree with what?
With you, with your take. And that's that. I mean, I don't
want to like circle back on things if it's like a dud, but like what particular?
I thought we already talked about. We just went through it.
But you see how like in order to like get to the bottom of it, like Wes kind of brought up a very good like case in point in which like it could be the alternative. You're just saying like you're wrong. Is that what you're saying? I'm just wrong.
No, I'm not saying you're wrong necessarily. I'm just saying I disagree. I don't think that your take on or your viewpoint on how you should look at moving countries, cultures, and all that should be looked at. I don't agree with that. But I mean, you're not necessarily
for
wrong.
no other reason, but you just feel that I'm wrong.
I gave you my whole reason when we were talking about it. My whole point is that I think we're kind of going in circles here.
I think
we exited the circle.
Yeah, I don't know if it was along the lines of what Wes was saying, something that wasn't necessarily 100% true, especially for a sustainable, long-lasting relationship. But
I mean, you heard what I said, what I was saying before, right? Like,
I thought it was just kind of along the lines of what Wes was saying. I don't think it was anything other than what he was saying, but I might be wrong. My apologies. But fair enough. Yeah, salutes to all. Well, and the crazy part, this won't be the last time we talk about something like this because, a lot of people think that's like the wave. Believe it or not, it's like finding love overseas. Cough, cough. But like I said, I'm sure we'll come back to it. Okay, all right. So there's nothing else on this. We can move on to the next thing. So believe it or not, first of all, the other two things are meant to be quick, and this is supposed to be like a hip hop themed podcast, because obviously we are, and by we, I definitely mean at least me, people of the culture, and you know we can't forget that. But obviously this is not necessarily one-to-one music related yet. So, oh man, hip hop is so unfortunate sometimes. So you might have missed it, but it was a pretty notable Gunplay situation, Gunplay / DJ Envy / Rick Ross situation that happened not too long ago. Now that it's kind of passed, not everything's been kind of all the parts of it came out. Now I'm in a good place. I think we can talk about it. So I pulled up a video. I found something that kind of gives the synopsis of all the like integral parts of it. So I guess we'll kind of go through the piece of the video, and then I'll kind of like break it down a bit more, and then I can get to the question, the root of the matter here. So on this video, you can go past the intro A's to that first part. Yeah, do that first. I guess, yeah, because I need to like remind myself what the order in which the video goes into. So, okay, so it starts off with the GoFundMe drama. Sure, play that.
So the drama all started shortly after Gunplay and DJ Envy traded shots back in May, which escalated after the former demanded an apology for bringing his newborn daughter's GoFundMe page into Envy's feud with Rick Ross. The GoFundMe in question had been started by Gunplay's partner to help cover their daughter's medical bills following her emergency heart surgery in February. The couple raised over $30,000, but Gunplay is now claiming that some of the donations were recently refunded after a video emerged of him gifting Rose a new chain.
Just for everything, man. Just for being a boss. Alright. So you know. Come on now. Alright. So you know I got animal shelter as my vibe, you know what I'm saying? Believe that. So we're gonna go ahead on and rock the ooh like that.
I didn't know something. Why is that?
This how we move. We always been dogs, man.
Dog check.
Dogs, you heard me? But
Yes,
my nigga,
sir.
I appreciate this. And boy, that mother heavy. Animal shelter, I'ma rep it for life. I'ma keep it for life. I never sell it, bro. You know I love you, my nigga.
I love you.
During DJ Envy's vicious spat with Rick Ross last month.
Okay, so just to kind of break it down, and honestly, they probably should have showed this part before the previous part, because this happened before the previous part. But just to kind of give a too long didn't read. So, salute to Gunplay, and he's affiliated with Rick Ross's label / movement MMG. So that's why and they've just known each other for a long time, and they consider themselves brothers. So that's why he's gifting him that gift. But that comes after the fact of, again, salute to Gunplay, but, unfortunately, his child, had health complications, and, they needed surgery. So like the video said, their wife or their partner started a GoFundMe for that circumstance, and they raised some money, and, that went towards, obviously helping out the young child. They went through a very traumatic, thing, and their partner felt that that's the move they wanted to do. So that's honestly, I guess that's why they put it at the beginning, because that's really the crux of the matter here. You have a person whose child went through something dramatic, and the family decided to do a GoFundMe, and then not too long after that, the person gifted one of their friends a very luxurious item, just so everyone's fully aware. So again, this happened before the gift was given, but this will play into what Gunplay's response was to DJ Envy. So go ahead and play that.
Month, he condemned Rose for not publicly supporting Gunplay's GoFundMe or helping take care of his child's medical bills.
We reported a story 3 weeks ago about your guy. Your guy! Gunplay is my brother. He has the Mac in the back of the 7 Series, and that's my brother. We reported a story that Gunplay, shout out to Gunplay, friend of the room. We were pulling a story that he had to, put a GoFundMe up because he was having some problems. If that's your brother, you take care of your brother.
Gunplay didn't like having his name mentioned and in turn demanded an apology via an.
So, if you weren't aware, because all this is like old beef, or pretty silly also, by the way, but DJ Envy and Rick Ross had a super minor beef. They were beefing about like who had a better car show, but it, like most things in hip hop, it escalates way too much to where people are calling out other people and saying other things. So DJ Envy's point was essentially Rick Ross, who's obviously just incredibly wealthy and successful, has a person that they think of as a brother, a friend, whose family is going through some type of hardship, and it's like as you as who you are, why does your friend even have to go through a situation where they're putting up GoFundMes? Why aren't you just fully supporting that and essentially addressing the bill, footing the bill? So after that, we reached a situation where because eventually people have to have conversations. So Gunplay and DJ Envy had a conversation, and it was recorded, so we know exactly what was said. Play it.
An intentionally leaked phone call, at one point threatening Envy with violence.
What's up, man?
How's everything with you?
I'm blessed beyond belief, man. Everything is good, man. Why you talking crazy, man?
Talk crazy about who?
About me, my brother. What I had to do with anything, man? And my wife posting a GoFundMe, man. My baby was sick, man. She had a heart defect, my brother. Why has nothing to do with cars? I'll slap the shit out you, boy.
I wasn't talking about your baby.
No, you was. Envy, I'll slap the Envy, for real. Envy, for real. I'll slap the shit out of you, right? For that. You know that, right?
We ain't doing all that.
No. I want to be clear. I want to be clear here. I would slap the shit out of you about that, right?
And then we can fight, but that's not the reason I'm saying that. See,
it ain't gonna be a fight. It ain't gonna be a fight.
Let me finish.
Nah, it ain't gonna be a fight. Envy, it ain't gonna be a fight, dog.
If I wanted to disrespect, I wasn't trying.
But you did. Why'd you bring me into that?
I wasn't talking about.
Why did you bring me into that, Envy? And so I'll be wrong. If I'll be wrong to handle my business then, right?
But what's your business? I'm having a conversation with you. If you feel like I disrespected you, I'm talking to you like a man. I'm like, nah, I would never. And if you feel I did, I apologize. That wasn't my intention.
Well, I need a public apology because that my wife is affected by that. My brother, we sat in that hospital for 28 days, homie. That shit was some real shit. That shit had nothing. It ain't even about the money. You know what I'm saying? My wife is in panic mode. My wife put that up, and this is what it is, and that's how she felt. She was in panic mode. I told her to chill, but it's cool. We did a GoFundMe. That ain't nothing, my brother. So don't bring my child into this, my nigga, because then we gonna be having bad blood, dog.
And if you felt that way, I apologize. That wasn't what I was trying to do. And I fuck with you. So
that's what I'm saying.
I apologize.
Thank you, my brother.
Cleared up, I will, because I have no problem.
Elsewhere in his interview with the We in Miami podcast, Gunplay said.
So that was pretty self-explanatory. That was a conversation that they had after the fact. You could maybe say one way or another whether it was how well it was handled, whether the threat should have came out that quickly. But that was what happened, and Gunplay expressed why he feels a bit not in a great space because of what DJ Envy said and the context of when he said it. But yeah, that was conversation. And then essentially the final piece of the puzzle was an interview that that Gunplay did with his partner after the fact. And after the fact, people saw him give the gift to Rick Ross. Go ahead and play it.
His dispute with Envy is far from over and openly challenged the DJ to a boxing match.
He didn't realize, I slapped the shit out of him. Yo, Envy, what's up? Put on the gloves. Let's get it. Shots fired.
So you challenging DJ Envy right now to a boxing match in the ring?
Yeah.
Box it out. Let's do the ring. Let's get in the ring, man.
We could do it and raise some money for charity or whatever.
You know, they did a little fight and donate to the hospital our daughter had surgery at.
Break it down for us. What happened?
He took a jab at my daughter's situation. It had my wife pretty hurt about it.
I'm seeing a therapist to the Breakfast Morning Club show, and he was like, is there a problem? Like, do I need to go up there about my granddaughter? I'm like, what's going on? So then I get on my daughter's Instagram page, and obviously, you know how trolls are, and they're coming crazy about, oh, you need to sign away your parental rights to envy, and I was very, very upset. It took me to a very, like, traumatic space. No one's expecting to give birth to a daughter with a heart defect that rare and having open heart surgery.
Right.
So I told him, like, call him up and tell him to take that shit down and to apologize. That night, he said, the next morning, I'm gonna go on the show and I'm going to apologize.
Exactly.
And he's like, okay, I'm gonna do it the next day. Charlamagne sent us the videos, like, I'm gonna tell him to do it again. So at this point, you're ducking the situation.
So you are gonna take legal action against DJ Envy?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
You need to learn your lesson. You can't just gut onto this type of platform with your voice and your followers and say anything that you want. People come at you and not realize, like, what you're going through at that time.
Every single one of you assholes and
Richard
that went to GoFundMe and donated and went and get a motherfucking refund, you never gave it with your heart. You a piece of shit.
Oh God.
You'll die that way.
Richard!
For real.
I didn't even know you could do refunds on GoFundMe. That's crazy.
But in 90 days, people that see me give my brother a gift, they automatically want to say that I bought that with GoFundMe money. Had to pay that back. So now, if you really want to be for real, my if a spunked out on the chain, how the they got it right back instantly with no pressure.
Right.
If that's what you want your back, here, take it.
Right.
So all you and ass out there, you never gave it from your heart, and you gonna die a piece of shit.
Wow.
It was literally everything. Like, after we went out to eat,
everything a nigga do
we built the
was
tank.
GoFundMe money.
That's crazy.
$30,000 from $50,000 on GoFundMe. Don't even pay somebody's rent entire year.
From the 30, guess how much we really get?
How much?
15.
Dang, they take half of it?
After Envy said what he said, we had trolls go to GoFundMe and try to like, report the GoFundMe page.
Right.
And I had to actually print out every like itemized bill to show that the money went to my daughter.
The leaked phone call could potentially result in Gunplay facing up to 5 years in prison, as it's against the law to record a person.
So that is the full story. Get you fully caught up. Salute to Hip Hop DX. This is a pretty good summarization of, even though I was kind of fortunate that, we even spend this much time on beefs and things of that nature. But all that to say, yeah, I mean, like I kind of specified before, the final outcome was, people saw, once everything was kind of seen, you have a person with a GoFundMe, and then y'all see them spending. To be honest, we don't even know if he spent a lot of money on a gift that he gave to Rick Ross. We just know we seen him give it to him. And now people are like, well, if you're giving Rick Ross chains, or Rick Ross is laying on his bed chilling with his feet up, why are we giving you money for GoFundMe? And that's where the kind of the question stems of like, what do y'all think of this particular situation? And I'll keep it a buck. When I first saw that video of him giving Rick Ross the chain, I didn't necessarily see any issue with it. Maybe I'm taking, so that's why I'm curious to know what y'all thoughts are. Because I don't necessarily see a problem with like supporting people that you want to support and showing love to people, and even if it's in an excessive way, at the same time where you are going through something where you require support from other people. I think those things can be independent. But again, I'm willing to accept the fact that I'm tweaking. That was the kind of the notion that a lot of other people thought. So again, that's why I'm curious to know what you guys' thoughts on, what hip hop beef is looking like in 2023. But yeah, so what are your thoughts on the situation in general? Like, what do you think of like, what are your feelings about like, if someone's going through something and technically requesting help from others, but still doing excessive acts for others? We'll start with you, Ghost. What do you think?
I mean, first of all, these are grown men, grown adults doing this stupid shit like they're fucking teenagers, bro. Like, that's the first thing. This whole, I don't know. I don't know Gunplay, except for that one feature he did.
On the Kendrick record?
I don't really listen to him like that, but to me, he comes up looking like a clown after this whole situation. Like, the going off about how people taking out the money and all that. If you post a GoFundMe about a child's heart defect saying you need the money, that implies that you are in a financial situation that's borderline desperate. Whenever you mention anything about a child, people are gonna drop whatever they're doing and say, "Oh shit, this child is."
Do you think that's
needs
what? Do you think that's what GoFundMe essentially illustrates?
that
Like-
you need financial help? That's the whole point of the platform.
Okay, all right.
I'm not trying to give money to people that already got it. Bro got more money than me. What I need money for?
I get.
And
I'm just asking questions. I do see your point.
I get why people went and got their refunds. I get why they're heated. Like, cause I mean, again, I don't know Gunplay. I don't know if he like fell off the sudden or if he's struggling. And he said his wife posted it, but regardless, she knows what your finances are like. So if she posted that, that implies that y'all needed the help. And if you sitting there wearing chains and expensive ass chains, gifting expensive ass chains, and doing all that, like you rocking it. If you really needed it, you would have. If you were that desperate, he would have sold his extra stuff that he don't need, including those chains, to get that money. And the fact that he's whining about it and going on Breakfast Club, and the fact that he's recording the conversation, the private, well, supposedly private conversation he's having, posted on social media for what? For clout? Like, I don't know
You
what.
could argue, even though there's legal implications, sometimes people record things just so they have indefinitive proof, so other people can't spin their narratives.
Which is true. That's fine reasoning, but he posted it on social media to get a rise out of people and to say, "Oh, look at this situation." If you just keep it to yourself, you can keep the recording. You don't got to share it with people. Just drumming up a whole bunch of drama. Talking, "Oh, let's fight." And again, he's acting way overreacting to whatever DJ Envy's saying. Because again, even if it was out of pocket and he thinks that it's about his daughter, like the message is clearly about Rick Ross, so he's going off about that, and I don't know. It's just.
But I mean, you can acknowledge if somebody's taking a shot at somebody else and they bring up something that's going on with your life, you're probably not going to be happy about it.
True, but again, he didn't mention he mentioned the GoFundMe. It wasn't about the daughter situation specifically, but I mean, yeah, that's fair. He might not be thinking completely rationally about, oh, he wasn't talking specifically about this, and that. I mean, the fact that it was brought up in first place, fine, whatever. You talked to him, you got your apology, all that, but I don't know. It's just he shouldn't be complaining. If you can gift chains like that, he was wearing a chain in the interview that looked exactly like the one he gave to Ross. So to me, that illustrates that you're not that desperate. And that's not even to say that you can't go on GoFundMe to request money if you don't sell all your possessions, if you don't sell your house or sell your cars and all that. But again, it implies desperation, and it's misrepresented where you're at from a financial standpoint. And if you do, and people take back their money, don't go whining and crying about it, because what do you expect? You got more money than all the people that are giving money to you. So this just crazy.
That part is true, or it probably is, like, statistically probably true.
I don't know.
There are a few things that I kind of, could comment on, but maybe they'll come out, because I don't know if you guys will have similar sentiments, but what do you think, Ace? What do you think of this situation, and do you think it really is I mean, I guess it'll look bad, but you think it really is a bad look when people are requesting help on one hand, and on the other hand, they're doing excessive acts for other people?
Yeah, I do think it looks bad. I mean, I can't say Gunplay shouldn't have made the GoFundMe, because I don't know. I mean, maybe they did need immediate help at the time. Maybe he came into a windfall after. I don't know, but
Yeah,
but
okay.
at the same,
Give
giving
him
them
some
way
bail.
I know. It's unlikely though. It seems unlikely. Um,
And I don't know if it really means anything because these probably were decisions that I don't think you could argue were made solely independent. But he, like you said, his wife made GoFundMe, and I could imagine a world in which the wife, you're seeing your child in that type of, you're not even,
yeah,
you might even not even be thinking about your own financial situation at that point. You might be just thinking, my child is going through this, I'm gonna reach out for help. Like I don't care. That isn't
right.
possible.
I need a certain amount of money for a surgery, and I'm going from there. Like I'm not gonna forget how much money I have in the bank. If I know what needs to be paid.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of this is goofy. Like, I don't understand still why him giving the chain to Rick Ross was even on footage. Like,
That's a point.
I think it looked like Rick Ross was asleep. Or
I know. Like, did Ross agree to this? Like,
out
I
of
mean,
it.
apparently, but jeez.
I think we can all agree with that sentiment. The only thing I can say is that rappers, entertainers, when it comes to them, everything is on camera. That's evident by the fact that they recorded their thing. So that's just part of their lifestyle. Hey, I'm going to do this thing. Hey, turn on the camera. That's obviously no excuse, but that's probably the mentality.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, and then I do think I agree with Ghost. Like, Gunplay definitely overreacted to DJ MV. But at the same time, you made a good point, Quest, that was brought up. Like, I can understand that clouding somebody's judgment in a way, but I don't know. At the same time, you would think it would become clear at some point that this really it wasn't about your daughter's situation per se. It was about it was about. I mean, it was basically a shot at Ross.
Right.
I don't know. It's funny that I mean, it seems like Rick Ross is quiet about the whole thing, which is
Very much so.
I know.
Like I'm not omitting anything from this. This is not another clip of Rick Ross like actually donating a large sum of money to Gunplay or like coming out and saying, "Hey, we need to squash the beef and all be men."
right.
It kind of unfortunately ended with this, and I think the assumption is like, well, one, they gave back some of the money for the GoFundMe, and two, hopefully, behind the scenes people did have conversations, but I mean, DJ Envy went to live his life, and Gunplay is probably just still dealing with the aftermath of that situation. Rick Ross is still living his life, so that is unfortunate. Where, or at least we know where it ends, but behind the scenes stuff could happen. But yeah, oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Real quick, I was gonna I'm trying to think because obviously I'm not a huge Gunplay fan by any stretch of the imagination, but I'm trying to think if this happened to a similar situation happened to a rapper or somebody, like a celebrity or somebody.
Would you support their GoFundMe?
Follow. Yeah, I mean,
okay, that's a good
not necessarily what would I do it, but more so if I did, would I be up something expensive after the fact?
That's what I wanted to ask, and maybe it's more applicable to Ghost, but maybe it's applicable to what you're about to say. Do you not see any level of what am I trying to say? Well, yeah, to what he was saying when he said like, as a person, if you genuinely want to help somebody, like it really doesn't matter. Like other factors shouldn't have said. Like they have to show like receipts and things. So I think there's evidence to show that the money did go to that specific operation or that with the medical bills.
Yeah.
So is there any point to what he was saying about like when you give something to somebody, you should be giving it purely out of your heart, out of wanting to support that person, and you shouldn't really be considered. You really shouldn't be concerned with other factors.
Yeah, actually, I do because I'm thinking about it, and if I was in the same situation as these people who donated, and then I saw the person that I donated to like doing well, whatever, going out to some fancy restaurant or whatever, I would still be happy that I was able to support, help support them, especially if it's something with a daughter or something like that, where a health situation, I would still be happy that I was able to support them, and now they're good. Like,
See,
I
this is
don't.
why I wanted to hear from Ace, because I'm rolling.
Yeah.
Strong disagree. Damn. I mean, in a vacuum, I don't think there's anything wrong with what you're saying. But again, the whole point of GoFundMe is in the title. GoFundMe. You are in need of funds. You need this. It's not something. Oh, it would help, bro. You see those chains? Those chains are expensive as shit. You doing all right, bro? And again, maybe I don't know Gunplay's whole situation, so maybe can cut him some bail, and I don't know. He was hurting for money, but he somehow came down with a few $100K to do whatever he wants afterwards. Who knows? But I don't know. I just know if it was me, I'd be pissed because I feel like he's misrepresenting the situation, and if you really need the money, then that's fine. But I'm all for donating when somebody needs it. If you have the means and you just want people to give you their money for the sake of it, just because you don't have to spend it, I have a problem with that. It's like the same logic behind donating. Like, you want to round up when you're paying at a retail store to help pay for this, that charity. In a vacuum, sure, there's nothing wrong with that, but the company that you're paying the money to could be paying that money.
Wait, so you don't do the little roundup thing?
Hell no. Again, they can. If they really want to donate that money, they can donate.
Fun fact.
What you mean?
They do that roundup thing, so they get the tax write off.
Yup.
You could always just donate to the charity of your choice on the side.
Damn,
on your own.
I would do like the little roundup thing, but while I kind of like the idea of helping people, I kind of like more so round numbers in general. That's just anything to me. But that's nothing to do with doing anything. Sorry. What are you saying, though? Sorry.
That's a better reason than conventional logic. That's great.
I guess, Wes, what are your thoughts on this whole situation and that the idea of, I suppose it's like the way to sum it up.
So from the get-go, I can imagine a world in which, first of all, who knows Gunplay's wife?
They were on reality television, but they're still like a lesser known hip hop couple, I would say.
Sure.
There's no Daisy and Beyonce, I would say.
So I see a scenario in which the child is born defect. The mom is stressed out,
panicking.
She posts a GoFundMe not simply because she wants help to fund the thing. It's quite possible that in today's day and age, she posted it for quote like awareness, and as I think Ace said it, like something to do. Like she wanted to do something to try to help the situation, try to get exactly. I mean, I think it was almost posted in a similar way. People do post things to Facebook, and I think from that perspective, she might have had good intentions without any weirdness. Like and even if they do have the money, I also will throw it out there that some couples have weird financial situations, and even though this guy might have all the money in the world and be buying chains, they might have separate bank accounts. Like they might be doing who knows.
This is a scenario in which it'll make more sense. You're saying.
Yeah. And so she throws it up. I didn't know. Like I wouldn't have known who it was if I was on GoFundMe and I scrolled by, saw this baby had this, blah blah blah. I might throw a few dollars. I don't know anything about anything. So I think that's probably partially what happened. And so that was fine in my eyes. Now, if the finances were all set and she had mad money, he has mad money, it's all joint, it's all on the up and up, and it was just unnecessary. It's a little weird, but I still don't really call foul. I don't really call foul. And then the confrontation of DJ Envy was weird. This dude has terrible communication skills, and
Gunplay?
also, yeah, awful.
Well, if it makes any difference, he's from Florida, but
Well, yeah, there you go. But yeah, no, Envy looked like a stand-up citizen in that call. And the other thing is like
one of the few times, but
yeah, exactly. And so the thing is, the only piece of it that he made that I understand is that, you know, his name is getting brought up in conversation in a beef that he has nothing to do with, he wants nothing to do with. And the other thing is maybe he got, you know, his business was put out there in a way, in a light that he didn't find appropriate, which is fair. Also, the fact that behind the scenes, they're getting, you know, his wife is getting hate on Instagram and wherever else.
Right.
That can incite some, you know, some feelings that clearly he was expressing, but very poorly. He could have, you know, that I think that was the motivation, because he said his wife hit him up, his his father-in-law, whatever, hit him up, or hit his daughter, whatever, his wife up, or whatever, however it went. That put him to where he was, but he never just said, "Hey, you put you know, my name and my situation in a bad light. I don't appreciate that. Can you please, you know, apologize publicly for it?" He could have been articulated way better. Then to go on to the point about people who donated. If I had donated, I don't care what happens. My donation stops at the point where I click donate. Like after the money's gone, the money's gone. Hopefully they use it for a good cause. If I've come to find out they didn't, it's like, dang, that sucks. But I'm not really saying anything else. And even in this case, I don't even know if.
Well, I mean, if we literally found some, like they really did
No,
the
no,
investigation, and they found out that it did go towards buying chains, I'm sure that then you have a full right to like.
Yeah, but I mean, I'd just be like, dang, that's ridiculous. I don't trust this dude anymore. Trust these people, whatever. But the only thing that would get me up in arms, make me want my money back, is if I found out that the money was used for something like literally evil or illegal, or like that's the only thing that would get me worked up. But I will grant that I'm sure the majority of the people who donated money that they probably, I won't say didn't have, but like it was like $50 or I don't know how much they were donating. But the people, the less you have it, the more upset you're gonna be, and I allow that. Like,
yeah,
even if, you know, and it would go for me too. Like, there's an amount that I would donate that I would be pissed about if I saw, if I did see, Gunplay walking around with chains. Like, there's an amount. I feel like there's an amount for everybody. Because when you feel that it's going toward a good cause, you know, you have a little bit more leniency. But I think there's a point where it's like, okay, well, I put myself out for somebody and they really, really didn't need it, or didn't use it what they said, you know, or did something underhanded, and it's like, nah, that would make me, you know. I mean, yeah, I don't know.
No, everything you said made absolute positive sense. I was gonna ask because it seems like, and maybe it's more to what Ghost was saying, like a pivotal part of this was the GoFundMe aspect, and I was just gonna ask real quick, do you think if they had just posted this like on like Twitter or Instagram or Facebook, whatever the platform, and then people out of their own volition donated, do you think that would have made it a bit different, Ghost? Do you think it was specifically the fact that they did a GoFundMe, and GoFundMe has a certain implication?
I definitely think it would have been different, because I think West did raise a good point in her potential motivation in posting it. But the thing for me is, even if that's your motivation, you still kept the money. It's not like you took the GoFundMe down after you talked to your husband and you're like, oh, actually, you know what, we're straight. We're not going to need that. You still kept it up. You still kept and used the money. So it's not like you wanted it purely for the social media and the
exposure of it.
Yeah, the exposure aspect. But if it was like on Twitter or Insta, and then it was like, pray for my daughter, prayer hands, you know, typically goes on Facebook. And if there was a link, like even if they had posted the GoFundMe link, where it's like, if you want to send something, or implying that it's not like an urgent thing. I don't know. It was kind of splitting hairs, but I think it'd be different than just a straight up GoFundMe, because the implication, again, it implies that you really need this money. Like when I see GoFundMe's, I think you're really struggling. You really need this. You're desperate. You kind of exhausted your options. So this is what you're resorting to.
Yeah, I mean, counterpoint. I do think that there's an aspect of action to it. I think people want to feel like they've helped the situation more so than not. Like, I think once you engage and put your money, forward, you feel a little bit more connected and like you actually did something for the situation. And so I think that piece of it might be part of it. Like, where I know I hear what you're
She was
saying.
being selfless.
Wait, what?
You think she was being selfless and thinking of other people?
No. That's not what I mean.
I'm kind of joking. I know what you mean.
Yeah, but I'm saying I'm talking about like the point of the platform, not necessarily that you literally don't have it. You'll die if you don't get the money, but it's also like we are going to get through this situation together type deal, or
You mean like
you
like
can
it's,
help.
Like it's a community thing?
Yeah, in a way.
I mean, you're putting your money where your mouth. Like, in a vacuum, it's good. Like, there's nothing wrong with it in a vacuum. But again, it's like this is not on the same level. Like, imagine Drake posted a GoFundMe for something. He's getting laughed off the part because people know that he got it like that. He don't need the money.
Drake posted GoFundMe.
Yeah, but
people that love Drake are putting money up toward it.
True, but I mean, let's say
speaking ridiculous.
But let's say I don't know. Let's say let's say I'm rich and I want to build, I don't know, some type of public building that can be used.
Maybe you want to build like a medical facility in like the hood or something like that.
Yeah, or even like a community center, somewhere that good for a community.
Yeah.
I might have all the money to put up for that thing. But in putting toward or putting out a GoFundMe or some type of fund, then other people feel that they've invested or that they've helped create something good too. And not to say that it's 1-to-1 on your daughter's whatever, but I'm just saying like there's a piece of it where it's like, yeah, of course you have the money to buy that thing, but there's also some aspect of other people helping in the situation, and that don't necessarily, and it's not something that's done single-handedly.
And I would argue humans like feeling like they contributed, like they came together as a community to help solve a problem, which is why I think it unfortunately does boil down to the fact that he was shown in this admittedly like damn near comedic manner, like giving this like excessive gift to somebody else who's equally. What'd you say?
This will look like a skit.
Yeah, basically.
He was literally like his kid excited to give him something for Father's Day. Like, I've never seen a grown man.
And the father ain't really too excited about it either. But yeah, that's what I think. And maybe it was the fact that he was kind of like going off on DJ Envy too. But I think that's what it was more so. Because I could imagine, because like you brought up a really good point, Wes. I think there have been situations. I could imagine a situation with somebody that's already wealthy. Post a link and people do it sometimes when it comes to charities. Like, you'll have like for some reason my mind goes to streamers. You'll have like relatively wealthy streamers who will do like a streamathon where they want everybody to contribute. Obviously they could in theory just foot the entire bill, but there's something about like community coming together. I guess it just has to not include you the next day doing something live for somebody who's also really got it.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with crowdfunding, but it feels misrepresentative when it's kind of framed in a certain way. Like, if you're upfront about it, then, I don't know, it's for me at least, it's different than, I don't want to say shady, because I don't want to put that on them, but it feels more desperate than it does in an alternate type of scenario.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I mean, I think he still opened himself. Yeah, I mean, he opened himself up to it, and in being on film presenting the gift.
Yeah.
But the reactions, I can appreciate the fact that the reactions are probably pretty harsh on social media for the wife and everything, and that that is not cool. But also at the same time, I think there needs to be a lesser degree of people watching
People
other
what?
people's pockets. People
Oh,
watching other
pocket
people's
watching.
pockets. Yeah, yeah. I think that needs to be in general.
Well,
you just don't really know people's financial situations, even if they're stupid about the way they flaunt certain things. And you got to make a decision based on what you've seen and what you know. But I don't know, I feel people getting too up in arms about other people's finances.
Well, I tend to agree with you. I don't think people are ever gonna stop pocket watching, especially wealthy people, and especially when wealthy people do things like this.
Yeah. No, I agree. It's a human thing, but I don't really.
And I mean, as critical and harsh as it sounded at some points, I think a lot of people felt the same sentiment that you are reiterated, Go. So I think that's why it was valuable to hear. Yeah, I think in general, I think even I definitely have a better understanding of like the whole, just a full grasp of the situation. Because again, I was kind of going to a kind of not naive, obviously not, but like again, I was like of the mindset. Okay, well, I mean, he did this nice thing for his friend, but he also was requesting money. So I thought you could look at it as independent, but there are a lot of things with the situation that you obviously people are gonna be up in arms about it. Yeah, I'm not gonna cap. Obviously, we're not a hip hop podcast. If you want hip hop commentary, you obviously go to like a DJ Academics or something like that. But I don't know. I think you guys broke it down pretty well. I would listen to this. I'd eat that.
For you and A, agree that though, like you have a number that if you did donate, you'd be a little bit pissed about.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Would have been. I still kind of am on this belief that if I give money away, kind of like you were saying, if I give money away, I think once I give it away, I don't think I would feel any way about it unless it was found out. Like, what if it was like, I don't even like putting it in the universe. What if it was a complete scam? There was no baby. Like, then it's like, what the hell? But obviously, yeah,
I mean, I think when it makes you a little uncomfortable, the amount you donate.
Realistically speaking, there definitely is an amount. There definitely is an amount. I don't know what it is off the top of my head. I think that would depend on the situation at hand, but there's an amount. I'd be lying if I said there's no amount at all. But yeah, definitely, salute to their daughter. I hope they were able to, get the medical attention that they needed for them, and I hope that they do have some level of recovery. And, hope the best for their family. And I hope that it's a learning lesson for people. We have a lot of these situations in hip hop where there's just kind of these one-off beefs, and people get really contentious, but we never really get it finalized until years later in some instances. But that's just hip hop. But yeah, like I said, I enjoyed for the most part this breakdown. I listened to that, and we have a little bit more hip hop to break down. So get your hip hop hats on, your hip hop backpacks on, because we are doing the yearly XXL Freshman Breakdown, the Be Warned and Be Filled edition or version right here, right now. Obviously in the past, we've done it a bit different where we kind of, took the time and as we listened to other freestyles come out and listen to the ciphers and the acapella versions. And I think they do a video where they do like the XXL Freshman, read mean comments or things. We're just going straight to the meat. And Maces. It is what it is. I forget if I'm saying that right, but they're sports podcast. They would say pause. But anyway, let's pull it up, Ace. First, let's look at the who we are. Because does anyone here know who the XXL Freshmen this year are? Nope.
I know that Ice Spice is not one of them.
Hey, there we go. I guess we'll go to that. No, let's go. Let's watch the video first. Then we'll talk about Ice Spice. That was funny. Yes, you got that. So pull up the intro video.
We all got a thing.
Ads on a whole podcast. Oh, the 30-second one where you can't skip. Lovely.
Get that damn YouTube.
We're not getting paid for that.
It's all good. We're doing it live. How was you guys stay?
To the podcast, we can eliminate.
Shut up. Okay, here we are. Salute to Double X. Turn that down just a smidgen, Ace. Sound loud. Yeah, go ahead, play it.
I'm out of Kansas City, Missouri.
Memphis, Tennessee.
Philadelphia, PA.
North Carolina.
Tallahassee, Florida.
New Orleans, Louisiana.
London. Memphis, Tennessee. Philadelphia, PA.
Tallahassee, Florida.
Brooklyn.
From Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and I'm a XXL freshman.
People are into me because I'm relatable.
Can't really put me in a genre. Through the progress, through the struggle, know who I am.
Don't nobody else sound like me.
My style, my flow, how I carry myself. I put everything I have into this. Get money to my music. I bring different energy.
I want people to just feel good.
I help as many people as I can along the way.
It feels great to be a freshman.
I mean, it's always been a dream of mine.
I accomplished something that I thought that I would never accomplish.
They say that you're going to the next level.
Kind of like being in college, making it to the league, and being a first-round draft pick.
Lola Brooke.
She wasn't an XXL freshman last year.
I know him.
Sleazy World Go. Finesse 2 times. Too rare.
Oh my god.
DC the Don. Friday. 2 hours. And Real Boston Richard. Rob 94.
I never would imagine I'll be here.
I knew one.
Y'all gonna see, for sure.
I know Gloria.
Sorry, I was saying those while it was happening. Scroll down a bit, Ace. So just so the audience can clearly identify who they are. So there's 10, like usual, XXL freshmen, and they are Sleazy World Go, Glorilla, Too Rare, Tia Corinne, I hope I'm saying that right, Lil Tyler, Rob 49, Central C, Finesse 2 times, Friday 2 Ys, Real Boston Richie, actually not from Boston, Lola Brooks, and DC the Don. And we'll obviously, have maybe. Let's start with that. How many of these individuals do you know, Ace?
One.
That being?
Glorilla.
Nice. And how do you know this? How do you know them?
I'm listening to all the rap that came out last year.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. We listened to the record? We
Yeah.
might have, actually, yeah. That sounds familiar. What about you, Ghost? How many of these lovely individuals are you familiar with?
I guess you could maybe say 4. I know Glorilla. I know Central C.
Yep.
I haven't listened to Too Rare, but I know he's absolute trash, garbage. And I kind of know Lud Tyler, not really, but a little bit.
Fair enough. And last but not least, what about you, Wes? How many of these 10 individuals do you know?
One. Glorilla.
Jesus. Okay, so we have a fan favorite here amongst us, I suppose. Not to say you guys are capping, but you have heard Friday, or maybe you have heard all of these individuals at some point or another. But you have heard Friday. He was the brother on the Guy Did record. He was.
Oh, really?
What record?
The Guy Did. He was literally the one that said, "But Guy did."
Oh my.
Oh, you know what? I'm gonna have to check if I actually heard that.
And spoiler, I actually somewhat like that brother, and I have one of his records, but I don't know if I like him that much. Still figuring that out. But obviously, that little intro just gives you where they're from, if you can even remember. It gives you their thought process and what they're feeling, what some of them, what their intentions are coming into the game. But this is hip hop. What was that Kendrick bar? Y'all know I'm trash. I used to be able to quote. But this is hip hop, so y'all know what time it is. Sorry, I'm thinking about the Control verse. But anyway, I think the best way to see if you like somebody, if they have the potential, if you dislike them, if you think they're trash, if you think they should go back to it, if you think they should don't quit their day job, is to just hear the bars. So let's just get right into it. The only thing is, should we dissect it one by one, or should we? Yeah, let's do that. I forget if we've in the past just done all of it, or if we just listen to it one by one. But I guess before we get to the verses, the freestyles, there is one person, quote unquote, missing here. There's been one standout artist That's one artist that's been a standout artist, whether you like them or not, in the past year, and that has been scroll over Ace, not scroll over, hit the next thing. Ice Spice, and if you're wondering why they're not here, it's a simple explanation. Ice Spice turned down the 2023 XXL freshman class cover due to hectic schedule. So yeah, simple as that. If anyone was wondering. Now, one could get in their conspiracy theory brain and say, well, this is such a huge accomplishment that one should schedule their schedule around that. But, you know, people blow up and see success at different rates. But yeah, that's just the if you didn't know. But yeah, I guess let's get to the bars. Let's take it one by one. If it's going too slow, maybe we can switch it up. But let's get right into it. Who's pumped?
Yeah. No.
We all gotta
God damn.
Yo, you. Nah.
I'm not gonna cap to y'all. I am considering getting YouTube Premium because I sometimes listen to videos when I'm going to sleep, and those ads be first of all, they don't be at the same volume as the video you're watching for some reason. But, yeah, I think I'll wait till I'm actually like wealthy and eating first.
Vision, no. Before folk came through with them whips with all them ceilings off, them niggas ain't never show no love. They try to leave me in that mud. That's why I feel away. Niggas who show love back then won't see me dead. Yeah, man, they got try something else. That hating shit ain't working. Ghosts came with the curtains, bad hoes see me and get nervous, nigga. I know what it take. You won't boss up from a worker, nigga. I know what it take to make that trap jump like a hurdle, nigga. You ain't on that ground no more. You ain't going hound no more. I guess niggas going broke. Just like that, you got exposed. I've been in Miami on a boat, fucking the baddest hoes. Folk been counting money up for a week, damn near cry my arm. Bro say them niggas want them dead, told them no they don't. Jomo round with a butcher knife, bro cutting up. You can't name a nigga in this city with some more bags than us. I don't care where them niggas from, need that pack, I'm popping up. He think I was gonna hear what he be saying by the nigga. I just hope he know I heard, but if he said then he meant it. She fuck me and fuck my bro, I'm trying to see if we can flip her. This a new Hellcat Durango, none of these whips ain't rented, nigga.
Okay, so let's get in our what's that thing called back in the day? Not back in the day, sorry. I'm not a hater. Hip hop dead end bag. Let's get very critical, very
reacting after each.
Yeah, let's do that. Unless collectively think that's not a way to go about it. Let's put on our hip hop bags and what do we think of this brother? We'll start with you, West. I think you're the most charitable out of all of us.
Definitely heard worse from XXL Freshmen, so I said it wasn't bad as go. What are we doing now? 5?
Yeah, if you want to give it a scoring, or you could just give your overall take.
Let's not bother with scores. Okay. Yeah, it could have been worse. Rhyming wasn't really a thing for him, but it was alright.
Okay, fair enough. What about you, Ghost? What do you think of this brother?
Not bad. I mean, Southern rappers who gets a few points. Plus, I've heard much worse. So, if I was doing out of 5, probably like 2.5 or a 3. Not bad.
Okay, so far not bad. Ace, what are you thinking?
I didn't like it, but I will say I think the beat is atrocious, and it's kind of probably gonna throw my judgment off. But yeah, Wes was right. He rhymed a little bit, but there was some words he just threw at the end that you expect. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, not great, not good.
Jesus. Oh, okay. We're here to keep it a buck, keep it a stack, be honest. All right. Next, we have Sleazy World Go. Let's hear it. I do agree with you, Ace. The beat. I mean, it's interesting. I wonder if they like cater the beat to the artist, or did they think, or does the producer just put out a beat and the freshman have to like match the energy of the beat. I'd be.
I know I would be pissed if I was a freshman and I had to rap over this nonsense.
Fair enough. Let's keep going.
Garbage.
Ain't think I make it, but I did. Went from toting Glocks to tops, lighting up shit up like they said. They like, all you rap about killers. I'm like, shit, that's how I live. Ain't no standing clips in these. These got extensions like they wigs. RP to all the rappers that lost they life to gun. Fuck all that putting them guns down. Wanna survive and get you one. Think the glizzy, the white spice, how this bitch like the munch. My shooter short, but like Columbus, he know how call his ass the ref. I don't do shit without my dog. I feel like Johnny Test. I pay gorillas to rap shit in the hood. I'm Gotti. My little nigga came to Lola Brook. My shorty don't take off his ski. Call him PG up Nook. I'm still a baby with this chop. Made niggas taco duck. I mean duck taco. If it's smoke, put it on the floor. I want a bitch like Lotto. We're from the hood to overseas, taking trips to Cabo. Facts. 762s turn a sedan into a hatchback. And ain't no sending shots at me without a clapback. Let's get it.
Okay. That brother was definitely heavy with the references. He always likes to compare or use metaphors, as you were. Okay, so what do we think? I guess we'll spin it back. Ace, what do you think?
I'll rate him slightly higher than the last guy since he confused me with one of his bars. I don't know if it was actually good or not.
That's crazy.
Then look what you give points to if you could get somebody can say a bar that could confuse you. Okay. All right. What was the order? Okay, so you go. So what do you think?
2, the only reason he's not getting low is because I think we'll hear worse. But yeah, that wasn't good. And I don't know about he would that some shit he was saying made no sense. It sounded like he was a little scared of the beat, but it could be worse.
Fair enough. And then you, Wes, what do you think? You liked it? Disliked it?
I feel like he's kind of on par with the last one.
Okay. And you thought the last one wasn't the worst you ever heard. So far we're not in the worst. We're not the worst. Okay, next we have DC the Don, one of the more eccentric looking. Maybe that's bigoted to say, but let's see what he has to say.
Who that is the man? Geeked up in the party. We don't pop no Zans. Pierre made the fucking beat. I play with them bands. Gelato 33, I'm high as fuck. I'm trying to land. Your baby mama keep on texting me. Don't leave her with them kids. He get rough for show. Got 49ers in the field. Ay, there go Ruby Rose. I'm with LaTyler in the mix. I did a 50 out of town like I'm producer around this bitch. Ay, feeling like I'm dinner broke as fuck like they ain't paid a fee. What you mean? We got 223 red beans and ARPs. Talk my shit so fucking much. This shit go down from A to Z. Like what you need, bitch. I'm fresh off the lease. I feel like Freaky T. Who gon' run that bag? Bitches me or me? Let's go. Who ran up that bag? Bitches me on me. Walked in your party with shades on, too cool, nigga. I'm feeling like Mace. Tell your little nigga to chill out before we pull up and just spray out the place. Missing me, y'all getting fly as hell. And my name is ringing bells. Hold on.
Okay. DC the Don. All off the bat say they definitely have some level of skill. Like they can they have good breath control and they can rap a 16. But is it just me or this all sounds maybe it's the beat. These all sound like same level like quality. Like I don't know if they structured it to, but like I don't know if you weren't paying attention, you could almost be like. I mean, obviously they sound somewhat different, but I don't know. It seemed like they picked these guys that just no one's doing anything different or very unconventional. But
that's true.
Let me not get too crazy. What do you think, Ace?
Yeah, not good. This is the type of stuff that make me want to punch the radio.
Damn, man. My bad. I think I'm actually going to start for West, but I'll just keep going. What do you think, Ghost?
About the same as the last one. 2.
That's basically the way to describe this so far. It's about the same about the last one.
That's why I said don't bother with the scores. It's
oh god. And then what about you, Wes? What do you think of DC the Don?
I don't know. Strangely, I think he has a slight edge on the other ones because, and maybe this isn't a good metric, but I could hear him being more successcul. Which
you mean like as a total artist, or just rapping
with the kids? No, I mean as a rapper.
Huh. Okay. Interesting. Okay, now we have LaTyler. Let's see what he has to say.
Think I got some shit to say, it's time to hit the boo. Why the fuck these niggas always hating, ain't trying to get no loot? I can't lie, that bitch can't cut his way if that little bitch ain't cute. I wake up every day and chase that pay, that's something you should do. I done took a lot of niggas bitches, that's why they don't like me. Pull up to the jeweler, drop that bag and tell that nigga ice me. I been running through these rats, I swear this shit get pricey. All them bitches shitted on me back then, wanna be my wife. Yeah. All these bitches love me, but these niggas hate me. Okay. You ain't trying to get no money, swear that shit so crazy. No, it's a hit when I put some lyrics on the beat. I kinda feel myself today, a mirror is on my feet. I just touched another 10, that's 20 for the week. I'm in here hide in the fuck, pussy can't you tell? I'm on double XL, I gotta give them hell.
Oof. Well, okay. Well, you know, it's interesting. Rappers have been using like the moniker of Lil, Little, and Low, and since like back in the day, but that brother sound like a literal child. Like, I think they had to check his ID before he even got in the building. But I guess that aside, what do we think, Wes? What do you think of Lil Tyler?
Go to class.
He's in class. He's a freshman. Literally.
Get back to class.
Literally.
I don't know.
Ghost, what do you think?
I kind of rate him a little higher than the last dude just because he is like 14.
You giving him points for being younger?
Yeah, because I mean he's trash, but he maybe potentially has some. It's like an NBA prospect. That's like a young dude that's been in the league for 10 years. You know he's gonna be trash. But yeah, I know the books.
That's a hell of a perspective. Ace, what do you think?
Awful. He couldn't even spell Lil right.
Shut up, man. Shut up. Okay, whatever. Next we have the first female, Tia Corinne. Corinne, I hope I'm saying it right. But let's see what they have to say. Also very country looking. But you can't judge a book by its cover, right? Kick W.
Like who wanna fuck you talk to? Man, you know just pay me to walk through. You be looking like me cause I taught you. I ain't wanna get back but I got to. We gon' shoot at your foot with a torso. We gon' fight at this bitch like a Marvel. We gon' open your bitch novel. We gon' put you in dirt, fossil. Oh, I got bread on my head, waffle. And I put some bitches on me, Paco. Like dark skin bitch, Choco. I make a move in that bitch. Auto, fuck all the niggas get money, motto. I keep flexing, they thought I was macho. Make it rain in this bitch, pronto.
Okay, short. But come on. Ace.
Why do the females always rap better? Like, that's so ridiculous, man.
Do you think that's low-key sexism? That they have to rap better?
I think it's
Maybe.
if you get them right, you have to have a higher baseline of skill than some of these other dudes.
They're completely bodying these.
Either that or you have to be
They're not on the
overly
same level.
provocative, but
yeah, that was pretty damn good. Like,
okay, Ghost.
I mean, obviously the best that we've heard so far. I like that little metatarsal line. That was decent.
Yeah.
Give it a 3. Decent.
That's crazy. Who's actually raising eyebrows here? And then Wes, what do you think?
Yeah, no, that was solid.
You're all right. Ace. It's like becoming like a pattern now. Like, yeah, that's crazy. All right, who we got next?
Easy World go? Or I don't know.
It's either Touré. Okay, let's do Touré.
If it's up, tell them please come the right. They want no fire sticks, niggas, bitches all on the twin. Yeah. I got the whole world really shaking their hips. Uzi and Drake, you know how sticky that get. Yeah, orange you into that shit. Yeah, you gon' get built for that. This. In my bag like groceries, really jam shit like Kool-Aid. You so sweet, ain't no peace made. I'm so round town, cause I'm street made. I'll hit you from the neck up like a keychain. This shit give a nigga goosebumps who can't read me. Hit them, then we spin them right back. That's a replay. They steady hating me. Cake like the bakery. Killed them with success. It was R.I.P. School to them like truancy. You ain't trying D.I.E. Leave me alone like a P.P.P. Cause I stay G. Rockin' Gucci. Bitch, I'm G. the ass nigga ever crossed me. Needed Jesus, he caught one way before 10. On the beat-boy, Smitty with his hoodied up, yeah, Slim Reaper. Whistles blow, I can't fall, won't put these cleats on. I got straight, just ask bro, we like Adidas. I ain't got no V8, but you ain't got no vehicle. Bro, to the riches, what the fuck a GPS gon' do? Do. You can't even ride for me, cause my trust don't eat. Nigga, you a bitch, put it on your license, please. All y'all pillow talking like hoes, sit down in y'all sleep. Bro, put the L's in more, I'm on Sesame Street. What'd he say? Cause my eyes twitching, that mean there's somebody talking. 762s, they like problem solvers. First you with his top, watch his body fall down. Now he baby boy, watch his body crawling.
Yeah.
Wait, did we? I guess we did hear them. Anyway, I think that last brother thought this was also a chance to. What was that show back in the day? Be it like get on some America's Best Dance Crew type vibe. Yeah, that was interesting to say the least. I'm not gonna cap. I'll give credit where it's due. I did like the little "Give Me a Loan" PPP line, but obviously he sounds also very juvenile and like he's trying to rap and also put some melody behind it, which works for some artists, but I don't know if that's gonna work for him. Anyway, where do I start? I think Wes, what do you think?
Awful. Nothing good to say about that one.
Ghost.
Have a tear in my eye for how bad that was. 0. I knew he was bad, but that was beyond my
not good with the Fantano explosion.
Damn. Well, those are the first 6 XXL freshmen. So, okay, so we've heard, about half, more than half. What would you say what would y'all say 2023 is looking like so far? Ace?
Pretty awful. I mean, that goes without saying.
Ghost?
I think it was worse than last year. I'm not sure, which is just so sad, but yeah, it's bad. Well, last year at least, didn't last year have Legsit, whatever dude's name was?
Yeah,
it had a couple of decent.
Did it have Lotto too?
I guess
They had a couple of alright females.
Yeah, Dochi.
We could pull up the list.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. This is by far the worst.
We can pull up the list if it's needed, but let's pull up the last 4 or 5. Let's see if they spin around. It only takes like a good 3 or 4 artists to really change this whole scope of a class.
I think there will be 2 listenables.
Okay, predictions.
Damn it, I should have pulled this up sooner.
That's all good. For this one, we have Finesse 2 times, Lola Brooks, Fridayy, 2 Wise, and Real Boss and Richie. I'll tell you, there is a Real Boss and Richie record that I do like with a feature on it. I do like Friday's different sound vocals. I've heard Lola Brooks in passing, and Finesse 2 times has been making the rounds for getting arrested a couple times. But that's neither here nor there. Let's hear what these young brothers and sisters have to say.
I thought I heard her name, but I thought it was a shot, like a disrespectful comment. But go ahead. And the other freestyle.
Yeah, better be, maybe, perhaps.
200 over 50 in these pockets, 4 pockets full. Gotta say I'm gangster, check my records, it's understood. Gotta say I'm mob, twist my fingers in every state. Gamble and I'ma send a hoe, won't tell them no. 2 types of exotic, told them send them both, be on the flow. I'm from Memphis, RIP to Bentley boat. Wrestling with my freedom, now I got shit in the figure 4. Tapping out, hold up, stop the beat, homie, I'm blacking out. Secured out on feet, Glock in my hand. When I'm backing out, who cracking out? This what happened every time they count me out. Free the guys, I'm eating good now, I can't go back to chow.
Is he done?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, so that was a Finesse 2 times. Hopefully he didn't have to finesse too many people to get to this point. But yeah, so what do we think, Ace?
Excellent. It it's like
comparatively or in general.
It is pretty much comparatively, which makes this so hard. It's like compared to the other stuff, this sounds astronomically better. And I don't think this is somebody I would look for or anything like that. But yeah, he just sounds amazing compared to these other guys. He sounds like an adult.
Yes, we fully agree on that sentiment. Which these artists are obviously supposed to have some amount of like youth and youngness to them, but some of these they sound like they're picking them from literal high school. Ghost, what do you think? Finesse 2 times.
Definitely better than the last round, except maybe her name was beat 10 times better too, which helped.
Okay.
Yeah, decent compared.
Yeah, this is pretty good. Not listenable as in I would check for, but yeah, good.
Okay, so far so good. Let's see if Real Boss and Richie can do a nice follow up.
I can't make no moves without my brother. Niggas hating on them boys, say they rich off bubble. I'm on some roster shit, fuck your daddy, fuck your mother. I'm trying to fuck on this little sister, lie say I love her. I told you I was gonna get you back, that's a triple double. Always been a freaky jet, trying to fuck my cousin under the cover. Sliding in the Mustang, half a brick, I'm ducking undercover. You know I been having shit, I ain't never been no fucker runner. Little bitch bad is making good, but Boston probably still won't fuck her. She know I'm different, no switches with me, up in traffic, gotta move statistic. I'm always been it, but I don't rap with niggas ain't politicking. How the fuck they sell gang on cut, though nigga I ain't friendly. Man, I'm trying to get in that splash. Who I heard that shit Pacific. I don't want relations, I'm just trying to fuck to be specific. I can pull up in this, snatch the bitch that's in a Bentley. Killers in a bed, fuck the ops and whoever come with them.
God, Jesus Christ. Jesus, Joseph, and Mary. Well, I would say one thing.
He needs to be locked up, low key.
This brother, well, funny you mention that. He did go to prison recently. But anyway, one thing I'll say about him is you never have to worry about this brother capping, because if he's willing to give that type of information willingly, he literally said a bar that I was like, Jesus, this is much. And then he followed up with a crazier bar. But okay, right. Wes, what do you think?
That was bad. It was bad.
Fair enough. Ghost, what do we make?
I mean, it was entertaining, at least with how out of pocket it was, but yeah, not good.
Okay, Ace, what do you get? What are you thinking?
Yeah, I gotta give points for the entertainment value, but it's so disturbing.
Quite.
Wow.
Oof. If it means anything, just some clarification, he is from the South. Might even be literally from. I'm just keeping it a stat, like just to give some context. But okay, let's move on.
Yeah.
They wasn't with me. I was sitting on that bench, they wouldn't take me. Now I'm up on niggas like I'm KD. Now I just shoot. Hey, I can't pass that rock, I got a hoop. Hey, she love when I pull up in that brand new coupe. I don't know what thing she wouldn't do for me. I don't know what thing she wouldn't do for me. I don't know what thing she wouldn't do for me.
How do you start off?
I don't think literally any of us could have seen that coming.
Maybe he was just nervous and his voice was shaky.
Okay, so okay, so let's get it all out. Let's be realistic about the situation. This guy is not a rapper; he's an R&B artist.
That can't sing,
and he tried to still match the beat. And Jesus, I might have to say that
if he was on key, he would have potential, maybe.
No, there's no R&B artist that's gonna sing along to this beat.
No, I'm saying like on a beat that works for him. If he was on key, he might have had some
Well, we'll see later if he can be on key. But okay. I think this is gonna be incredibly hard to give a realistic assessment on. But Ace, what are you thinking?
This is gonna be my favorite, regardless of the funniest thing.
Like, I just like the way he came in on that. I'm just wow. Ghost, what do you think?
You know, you can move on.
I literally I'm gonna keep it a coming into this. I thought he was gonna be my favorite, just because he's the most unique, quote unquote. I thought he was gonna say, "Hey, producer, shut it off," or "I'm gonna do this." So I don't know, Wes. What do we make of that?
I mean, I don't know how much I heard of it through my laughter. So,
we're not replaying it.
No.
Spoiler alert, we're not replaying.
I heard enough. That was ridiculous.
Wow. What did he say? You know what you do to me. Okay, let's conclude this with Lola Brooke.
They can't get in without no wristbands. Gang members is my big fan. Claim my season every shot. Killing no more killer cam. I don't know, man. Stop asking me all them dumb questions. Hitters going duck questions. Live with it. Trigger finger on hold till my feelings get. This that pretty set. Here I come. Go. I do the picking. I don't get chose. Get top. Then he get low. If you ever had problem niggas, hollows without. Fuck good. Been backs. I'm every nigga's match. I step in and turn heads like, who the fuck is that? Ass naked on a balcony, I'm sorry, I'm not sorry. Blocker, where the fuck is, You know I got something to tell. Big gator up on double XL. Put my problems in the blunt, I'ma spark them L's. Send shots to your mans while he pick up the shells, You know I gotta keep it discreet. Don't wanna hear no feedback when I'm feeding the streets, Hit the gas, got my feet on the beats. Big gator on the check-in, you're fucking with a G. From them Zell buttons, them COVID days can't smell nothing. I can sense a pussy ass nigga gon' smell something.
Okay. Well, I mean, first and foremost, I didn't think it from the jump, but it's kind of interesting how that's not their regular voice. They don't have a deep voice like that. They were definitely trying to project or do kind of a bit there. They weren't on beat. But that's fine. That was definitely. I don't want to rain on their parade and say anticlimactic, but that was an interesting way to conclude it. Anyway, Wes, what do you make of that last performance?
The best one.
Out of these ones or out of everything?
No, out of these ones.
Got you. Ghost?
I mean, it's all right. Like, a whole point of the freestyle is that you're supposed to try to stay on at least. The comment that says you saw the beat coming and cross the street to get away from it, but she has potential.
Okay. And then Ace?
Yeah, I'll say she has potential. It sounds like she could make a good track, but I don't think she was the best. I think still the first dude was the best out of this group to me.
Got you. Well, I mean, that essentially concludes it. That is the current state of hip hop, whether you like it or not.
Wait, we didn't hear Glorilla.
Oh,
yeah, Glorilla and Essential C didn't show up.
Oh,
interesting.
Wait, how did we have 6 and 4 though?
So that was.
They were probably supposed to show up on this one.
There's 4. Aren't there
4? Is there 10 of them or 12 of them?
Oh yeah, I thought there was
12 somehow.
Did they just not show up for the entire XXL freshman thing?
I mean, they were in the original one, or the intro one.
Pulled the Ice Spice.
Damn. So they're already damn near a nationally known hip hop artist.
I thought she was a freshman before.
I think the other artists, maybe I'm just a bit ignorant for what's going on today. I think they should have definitely pulled up and spit a verse, but that's neither here nor there. Okay, well, It's kind of unfair because we haven't heard all of them. Well, quote unquote heard all of them, but we still have to, give our assessment. So I guess the key question takeaways is, what do you think of the class as a whole, comparative to previous classes? I guess 2022 XXL freshman. Just so we can have a refresher memories, no pun intended, on what we were working with last year. So last year we were dealing with Nardo Wick, Dochi, So Fuego, and it's good to actually look at the last year because we can look at it like who is any of these artists really still kicking on? And obviously they're still kicking on in some capacity, but are they in our view? Babyface Ray, Cali, y'all remember this brother's album?
Yeah.
K-Side.
2 great songs and trash.
Koshi, Big 30, and Ken the Man. Big Scar.
I don't remember half.
Saucy Santana, and Babytron. So that was what we're comparing it.
There's more people?
No, he was the producer. He was the quote-unquote producer. Yeah, that was the 10 of them. So yeah, what now that we had a refresher of last year, what do we think of this year comparatively? You could also think of it comparatively, like throughout the years, but I mean, this was probably the most recent thing to compare it to. And I already know you guys aren't going to remember all the freestyle from last year, so just recall what you can recall and what you've heard since then. Let's start with you, Ghost. What do you think about this year so far? Or what do you think about this year, this class?
Garbage. I don't think I'm going to listen to a single one of their projects, even to give them a shot.
Well, we are going to listen to this, so we do a hip-hop review, but I understand what you're saying. That's the thing. That's all you
This might be the worst class of any year I can remember.
Fair enough. We're here to keep it a buck. We're not going to sugarcoat nothing here. Ace, what do you think about this year, comparative?
Probably equal to last year. Yeah, maybe a little bit worse. Probably equal though.
Fair enough. And then, yeah, sorry, I should give you a heads up on these sites. They give you all types of weird ads. And then, what do you think, Wes? What do you think of this year? What do you say?
About the same.
I mean, come on, give your own. At least say it in your own words.
It was about the same. There's only a couple of people that I think will produce any music that is worth me listening to.
Fair enough. Go back to the video or I kind of just want to see their names all in one place again. Because we also have to say which one was the best out of them, which one was the worst out of them. Go back, start with you, Wes.
Tia Corinne, the best.
Pull up the intro video, Ace.
And
then go down to the description.
I forgot who was worse. Hold on. Oh, I was gonna say Tyler, but I think there was somebody worse. Wait, did we hear Rob 49?
I don't remember.
Oh, yeah. I think he was the very first one, maybe.
Fair enough. I guess we was the least.
Oh no. What was the one with the wild bars?
Too Rare?
The Too Rare, yes, that's the one, I think.
Too Rare? Wasn't Too Rare the one that was dancing?
No, yeah. Too Rare then. Yeah, the dancing one, yeah. That was the worst, for sure.
What about you, Ace? Who was the worst in IMO and who was the best?
I think I'm the same as Wes. Too Rare worst. Tia Corinne best.
Okay. And then you go. So what do you think? Best, worst?
Too Rare, easily the worst, maybe the worst.
Dang, y'all
ever.
shitting on that brother.
He's fucking garbage. Sorry, he's not good. The best. I'm gonna say the best. The one I think will be the best in the future is the Lola Brooke, the one who's doing the Pop Smoke impression. I think that's her.
Okay, well, that was actually going to be. I would say those questions are kind of like independent or separate. That was going to be the next question. Who do you think will go far ahead of who we've heard? So I guess for you, it's the same answer. It goes.
Yep.
Okay. Oh, pardon me. What about you, Ace?
Probably that first dude in the second group. I don't remember.
Finesse 2 times.
Yeah. I think I could see him on some really good features, and then maybe making a good project. I don't know.
That is if he can stay out of jail. I remember what it was too. He got arrested for allegedly stealing a car rental.
Wait, are you?
Stealing
No,
a
I'm talking about
rental?
the dude that I said sounded adult, like a mature adult. That guy?
Yeah, Finesse 2 times. He was the first one on the second.
Oh, I thought you said the other dude was in jail. The dude that was talking.
Yeah, the one that was
violence.
talking reckless about his cousin.
Yeah, Real Boston Richie. He's in jail now, I think.
Oh,
there's two. Sorry.
Finesse 2 times just got arrested and got a mugshot, I think.
Well, damn. Maybe he won't go far.
That's why I said if they can stay out of jail. And then what about you, Wes? From what you heard, who you think has the potential to go far?
I don't remember his name. One that I said I could hear being
what did he look
successful? Bruh. I don't recall. I think he was a.
I mean, if you can't recall what he looked like, or did, but how's he gonna go far?
Because I said it when I heard him. I said I think this guy could be successful. It was either the second or third in the first video.
I mean, I think a feature or a tenement of going far is like you have a lot of like rememberability.
I don't think I'll like him.
It's not about liking them. It's about whether you think like I don't think we're like y'all shitted on him, but I think you're gonna remember what's his name, Too Rare, especially if he keeps the lineup. Like you're not gonna forget him. Like some of these artists, for unfortunately for what they do outside, I think Ghost. I think I kind of agree with a lot with Ghost. I think Lola Brooks is probably gonna go relatively far, especially if they keep doing records and things like that. If you're saying you can't remember his name and or what he looked like, that's not a good sign. He's going far.
Whatever. I said it during the listens.
But you instantly forgot it is the problem. You can say you could have said in the moment Friday was the best, but if you forgot his verse, then what does that mean?
What do you want?
I mean, am I smoking, guys? Or like, if you can't remember an artist, is that not a good sign that you're not gonna?
I'm not gonna be the one buying his music, so
it doesn't matter. I'm not asking you, do you like it personally? I'm just asking.
I
who
mean,
you think
they're
has
so
a star
bad.
power?
I mean, I get your point. I guess it's just so bad it's not worth remembering. Like
exactly, this guy's not gonna register on my radar, but I think he'll be successful on other people's.
But we don't know who. But we don't know who he is at all.
I could tell you if you pulled up the video, but do we really need to do that?
Again, if I'm tweaking, let me know I'm tweaking. I asked a question and
I apologize for not remembering, honestly. But I really literally said it during the video. So
why do you keep harping on that? It's just like it's just so like contradictory. But okay, so we don't know who you are or what you look like, but you'll go far. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, I guess that's pretty much it. Yeah, I guess as a whole, unfortunately, we don't think this was the greatest class. I feel like it might be the worst. And yeah, I always look forward to seeing like at the end of the year, which of these artists go far, do well, produce records that I like. Again, I already like a couple songs by some of these artists, so I'm already like not in the worst spot. And I already know some of these artists for unfortunately things that happen outside, especially when it comes to criminally. I think Boston Richie might even have some snitching allegations, but we don't care about any of that on this podcast. Yeah, I think for better for worse, that's all, folks. When it comes to the double XL freshman class of this year, yeah, we want to focus strictly on the bars, and the bars was presented. Yeah. Well,
ABC's thing.
Yeah, we're not doing that. I'm sure they have personalities, and I'm sure they like certain things. We're cool over here. I'm sure when they read mean comments, some of that was funny, but they were good.
It was DC the Don, if you must know.
There you go. I mean, it still doesn't change the fact you couldn't remember him if somebody put a gun to your head before, but that's neither here nor there. Okay. If there's there's nothing else on this, then we can move on to get it off. Or is there anything you want to get off your heart, anything you want to get off your chest? And I have two things of note that I dropped in Discord, Ace. Some good news and some bad news. What do we want to hear first? The good news or the bad news?
Good news.
Okay, pull up that photo of the two numbers, if that's possible. Don't expose Discord though. Can you drop it in the thing, or will that pull up? Nice. I like that. Okay, so if you're unfamiliar with what this is, Danny Brown, he posted this to his IG, and the caption, I don't got all the caption, but it's basically days of his sobriety. Apparently, by the time of posting this, which now it's even farther if he's true to it, he's 23 days off of cigarettes and 90 days sober. And if you know anything about anything when it comes to Danny Brown, you know that drug use is an incredibly common thing for them. So to see that they are at a point in their life where they are experiencing sobriety and therefore putting away some of the substances that they used to be very much involved with, or maybe even afflicted with, this is hella good news. Like in my mind, if Danny Brown can have some levels period of sobriety, I think and damn it, anyone can. And I don't have the whole thing, but he put in the caption, "Don't ever be afraid to ask for help. It's never too late to change. If I can, yeah, exactly. If I can do it, anybody, literally, I think there's few rappers who talked about drugs extensively as him and meant it." So yeah, I saw this and I'm like, dang, that's damn near inspiring. Obviously, we're definitely not straight edge or anti-drug to a wholly extent, but I think it's safe to say that we all don't consume drugs here, and we don't recommend people consume drugs. So this is, I just think this is good news to see. And what's interesting, I was thinking about this thought, and I won't get into it because we're trying to wrap up, but I was thinking recently how it's interesting, I can still consume for example Danny Brown records and still get my own level of enjoyment and not be inclined to try drugs or need to be doing drugs to enjoy it. So I think from a fan of an artist that is no longer consuming some of the things that they rapped about, you might be thinking, oh well, listen back to music. Is he gonna rap about sobriety? Nobody wants to hear that. But I almost could imagine a world where he produces the same level of music, maybe talk about some of the changes in his lifestyle, but still produce the same quality of music, just with a sober mind frame. But maybe you guys have a differing view on that. Maybe you guys fully believe that you gotta live what you rap about. But yeah, again, I just saw this and I thought it was good news. 90 days is no joke, by the way. If you can do something straight for 90 days, you have the capacity to do it for life. Yeah, IMO.
Yeah, this is dope.
But yes, now for some sombering news, and obviously it's not the end of the world, but we try to give our resting powers when we come across them. Pull up the other post. So you may be unfamiliar with this person's name, but Coco Lee, singer and Mulan voice actress, dies by suicide at the age of 48. super heartbreaking news. I don't think there's a single person that I've ever come across that wasn't familiar with Mulan. You know, I think like who hasn't watched that movie a bunch of times? It's a whole classic. Be a man, and all that. So yeah, you know, just giving rest in power, and you know, this is not a mental health podcast, but obviously, you know, seeing stories like this, you know, I think we do feel inclined to, you know, always say, you know, mental illness is definitely something that, you know, unfortunately, we as humans do deal with, and or can have the capacity to deal with, and you know, there's definitely a million and one ways to treat it, but treating it is definitely something that we highly recommend on here. So again, rest in power to them. Condolences to their family. Mulan is still a whole legend. But that's it. That's all I have as far as get it off your heart, get it off your chest. I don't think I have anything to walk back or apologize for, but I do hope that we all kind of understand each other's perspectives when it comes to that passport bros. I hate to kind of qualify it as that, but that topic, that was the most contentious. But yeah, I hope that we're not walking away thinking someone else is tweaking. But aside from that, I would like to attend these podcasts. What are we looking forward to? Yeah, whether it be in the long term or near term or long term. You know what they say about having something to look forward to?
I got a couple things. Finally, hopefully this week, can get to go out to the Jazz in Hartford, Connecticut. The free shows they got that we have not been able to go to for various reasons the past couple weeks, but be nice to get out there.
I mean, wasn't this like the first week that passed by? We haven't missed too much, have we?
This is the
2
third
weeks.
one.
Oh shoot.
So yeah, that should be dope, hopefully. And the second thing is there was a new anime announced from Adult Swim called Lazarus from the director, what's his name? Shinichiro Watanabe, who created Cowboy Bebop and Samurai Champloo, two of the best animes of all time, obviously. And one of the directors of John Wick is helping, and the soundtrack is Kamasi Washington and Floating Points. So yeah, all artists I very much enjoy. Is like tailor made, like all names that and all projects that I've liked a lot. So yeah, that should be great, hopefully.
Nice.
Dope. Especially that the anime. I think I saw that in passing, but I wasn't even hip to all the details. Yeah, I guess kind of anime related. It's kind of a weird looking forward to because obviously, maybe not even so the content itself, but there's that One Piece live action show that's coming out, and even more so than the actual show itself. Because to be honest, the trailer it looked like it's gonna be awful because animes don't transfer over to live action very well. I'm looking forward to seeing like the reactions and seeing how like if you know anything about that like anime fan bases and communities, the One Piece community doesn't play at all. So I'm very forward to see. I'm looking forward to see like the reactions and videos that are made. Basically, the content that comes out of that. And then also, I know it's like literally like who cares, but I'm looking forward. I'm going swimming. It's been a very humid and muggy summer, so I'm going swimming soon. And maybe even the beach, but I don't know. I still got to work around. I still got to plan that. But yeah.
I actually have one. I got invited to a homie's wedding.
Like you should, just always. Sorry.
Yeah, I got invited to a friend's wedding. very hype.
I think I remember you mentioning that. Is it like coming up soon though?
Yes, August 19th.
You don't gotta tell us the date and like time and place out the guy, but I was just wondering if it's coming up soon.
Yeah, pretty soon. 3 weeks.
Do people invite people to people's weddings like last minute? That's obviously not last minute, but like, do I think people do?
I don't know.
I think you're supposed to have like a whole list of reservations.
Yeah,
and all that.
Because you have to plan for it. So.
Yeah. What happens if you like have your list of people that you invited, but then you bump into somebody that you probably could want at there, but you already have like everything like all the plates and things set up? Do you like not even mention it because you don't want to even tell them about it?
I don't know. I was almost in that situation. So.
Damn. Well, that's dope. If you know me, you know I don't do weddings and or funerals. I don't like seeing people that are happiest or saddest, but I do like seeing people happy. So that's dope. Damn, I kind of want to ask a bit more probing questions, like how long the couples were together before they decided to get married, but maybe I'll save that for off the record. Okay. Well, if there's nothing else, we've come to the end of the podcast. This has like been 2 hours and change, but obviously, actually it's been 3 hours and change, or a little under 3 hours, but regardless, we're not new to this, we're true to this when it comes to long content like this. But I do give thanks to y'all for coming out here and doing this podcast thing. It's not always easy when you have to talk and give your opinion on things that otherwise you wouldn't even know, especially when it comes to people like Ace. But anyway, so yeah, and we give thanks to any and all listeners. We greatly appreciate y'all, and we hope that by listening to us, that you were able to get a new perspective or learn something new. Like if you were at the workplace, someone could literally be trying to steal something out of your pockets. You better not put your hands on them, or else you're out of a job. Or we just hope that you found this entertaining. But if none of that happened, then all we can say is be warmed and be filled. Thank you. Alright, recording is stopped, and I'll stop streaming. I probably should have been just chatting when I was doing that, but now, yeah, and then I'll stop the stream. Good night, everyone.